Like I didn't get everybody in there like I should have, but I started to based on what I was seeing in chat. All right, we're live and we have most of both groups. We got 9 out of 12. Is that the right number? Something like that.
11.
9 out of 11.
You had 6 and 5.
They had 7
So
on
7.
on Prime.
Okay.
At full. Well, actually 8, but one of them's super dead. Anyways,
Yeah.
this is a good amount. We've got a good amount. So both groups have finally completed their Odysseys. A lot happened. A ton happened. I would have to say that of all the written adventures that I've run, this is by far my favorite written adventure, and I think it is by far one of the greatest third-party like pre-written adventures ever made. Even if you run it raw, it's still pretty damn good. And then with the amazing community that I was able to find and work with, we were able to make it into something even better than its original form. So it was a very, very satisfying experience. I was also fortunate enough to have 2 incredible groups and 2 very different groups to run this adventure for. So do you guys want to go like and introduce yourselves? I guess we'll go from like left to right, starting with Astraeus, the god of death. Astraeus could not make it. He had last minute family stuff come up that he is taking care of. So he wants to be here, but he was unable to make it the last minute. So, but Astraeus was in the original group of Odyssey Prime heroes. He was a vanished one. Some say the most problematic of all the epic paths. Saved from death by Versi the Oracle and kept as her personal attendant for about 5 centuries until the time was right to re-release him into the wild. And then as a vanished one, he brought a lot to the campaign in that his character was there 500 years ago, but forgot everything, like a Final Fantasy protagonist. So there was a lot of like remembering the past through this character's returning memories. So it did provide a very nice like platform for that. Ultimately, he did have to step down and to the side around the time that they got the Ultros, I believe. Or right before.
Yeah, sounds right.
Yeah. No, I think it was right after they got the Ultros. He had to step down before they started setting sail, and he became like a kind of background character that was a pretty big deal, a pretty big NPC for their run. And yeah, so that's Astraeus. So Stone, you want to introduce yourself and your character? Give us some context.
Hi, I'm Stone. I played Cyrus in Odyssey Dragonlord Prime. Cyrus started off on the Slayer path, having his earliest memories are of his town being destroyed by a big dragon. So he set out to hunt other monsters and ended up becoming one himself in the process, as he found a shared understanding with them. Eventually, through the course of the story, he would end up becoming the takeover Thylea's role as the entity keeping things alive by sleeping. And so now his subconscious is now shaping that realm's current Thylea.
Nice. All right. Red, you want to introduce yourself and Anna?
Sorry, I just figured out how to unmute myself. Let's just talk. Hi, I'm Red. I play Anastasia in Odyssey Prime. Probably one of the most fulfilling characters I've played so far in my D&D journey, hobby. Started out as just a Thylean siren. Was very, very sad, and because of being a haunted one, the one of the epic paths that I mean, how to explain it best? Basically, my family and I were pretty important, so important that some prophecy caused the god of the tightness of death to go mad and slay us all. But before that could happen, or after that happened, the goddess Mitros / Balmetria secreted our bloodline away from even the gods, so that no one could remember me or my family. So yeah, it's just kind of awkward trying to explain everything to my party members for a very long time. And it was very, very wholesome at the end when they definitely did remember it, and they act like they knew the whole time, and that felt really good. Oh yeah, very fun campaign. I don't know what else to say at the moment.
Okay. All right. Reset. Jerry, you wanna?
Yeah, I'm here.
Nice.
I am Reset. I was an Oresian monk, a gifted one, and I guess she started out as sort of like any Oresian, and slowly learned throughout the campaign that even though she was gifted, the world was much bigger and more powerful than she had expected, a lot bigger. She learned a lot of lessons from everyone that she met, and from her party, and a lot of things happened that essentially changed her and allowed her to break out from the Oresian shell, I guess, and become a hero, a chosen, over time.
All right. Remy, you want to introduce yourself and Phil?
Yeah, so I played Philippocles. He was a demigod, which basically means his entire story arc is fixing his broken family. That was most of it. Yeah, I mean, Phil's already met a lot of the people here, thanks to a D&D game, but
We go way back.
yeah, we go way back.
Yeah, way back, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say. I'm sure
Okay.
it'll come out.
All right. We're waiting for Scarlet to get onto mic. But real quick, they played Hypatia, who was a cursed one. And it turned out, spoiler, that they cursed themselves, essentially, because they had a bad habit of messing with time. And yeah, so allegedly, this Hypatia is the last Hypatia in a long line that messed with, with time. All right, David, you want to introduce Julian?
I suppose I can. Julian Mitros, gifted one. So starting out, was a sorcerer taught by the Lotus Witch, which probably explains a lot. As a turns out that I was kind of a son, related to all the gods knocking around, and because of the plot line, and for thematic reasons, not really efficiency reasons, I chose to go Artificer, and it sort of finished up the game as such. But being family member to a lot of the big players allowed me access and insight, and had a lot of things going for me, except for I've got a really big fucking mouth, which got us into a lot of trouble periodically. So, yeah, that's Julian in a nutshell.
got us out of trouble a lot of times too.
Damn,
Oh,
weird.
But I got
Ian
us into
character.
trouble and out of trouble about the same amount.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, about the same, huh?
All right. Will, do you want to introduce yourself in Orin?
Yeah, Orin, the Dreamwalker, he was a doomed one fighter. He was key character traits being too stubborn to give up and too angry to die for long. He started out as a member of the Mitrain army and was a sole survivor after one of their legions got wiped out on a dubious mission that was a result of some machinations from the then Lady of Death, who led Orin to get kicked out of the Mitrain army and then have to go on ended up at the Sour Vintage and then, had to go on to figure out what was going on there.
All right. Dom, you want to introduce
Hi,
Maya?
I think I'm here now. FYI.
Okay. Do you want to reintroduce yourself?
I mean, you covered the most of it.
Okay.
Weird time shenanigans. She's a Medusa. I don't know if we covered that.
Oh,
she was cursed to be a Medusa.
See, when I don't see snakes, you know what I'm saying?
You don't see snakes? Yeah.
When I look at people, you know what I'm saying? But yeah.
Yeah. And a wizard who specialized in all of Crash's least favorite D&D spells.
I mean, not all of them. Not all of them. One of them got banned, so I mean, there was
true,
that.
True.
Thanks for
All right.
that.
Yeah. All right.
It got banned because I used it.
Well. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
sleeping
it's
draught.
too
Yeah,
Yeah.
sleeping
So
draught.
good.
Yeah, sleeping draught. The no saving throw debuff spell that you get at like super low level. Yeah, that one.
Yeah. That I completely just ended a boss fight with. Yeah.
Yeah, and we were not alone. I went to the Odyssey Discord and I was like, "So this spell, right?" Like everyone was like, "Yeah, I've already banned it. Yeah, I banned it already." I was like, "Okay, all right, cool." Dom, would you like to introduce Maya?
Right, yeah. I was playing Maya of the Old Wood, the druid, sacrifice, a staunch follower of Thylea, wholeheartedly, full on believes in Thylea and life in general. She was an exiled one, which I believe was a homebrew.
Yeah, by Butler Log from our server from Josh. Yeah.
Yep. Homebrew epipath. She was for her, what she believed was a born Medusa, that was abandoned and left in the Old Wood, and didn't really know where she came from. She spent a lot of her time being like a sort of a mediator, hiding her snakes in her face, living in the Old Wood until she got the call to go to the Sour Vintage. Her biggest thing is that she eventually found out, apparently, that she was daughter of the Queen of Themis that got betrayed. She eventually went through and did the whole thing of getting back to the throne and freeing Themis from her corrupt leaders, and eventually, still being such a strong follower of Thylea, at the end of the campaign, decided to ask her to keep dreaming for now, so that she can get prepared and eventually take over for her later.
So I take it you guys didn't murder Thylea?
It was for this particular group. I don't think that would have made it very far on the party vote. I don't know if it would have made it very far.
We talked about that for days.
Yeah. It was tense. It was tense with you guys. I was happy because I was like, good, yes, like the Emperor, you know what I mean? Like, like let the hate flow through you. So I was very surprised that you didn't kill God in the
I had
classic.
to come and ruin everything again.
I know. I think you really honestly were the only reason that Thylea didn't get killed.
There was like, so we kill my mom, right? And like everybody kind of like half glanced over at Maya, and then like immediately like was like, nope.
All
Probably
right.
not. Yeah, or everybody glanced over, he's like, no, just for a second.
Let's see. Ori said he might be joining us like an hour in. So real quick, this is Sibo. Sibo was a lost one And because Lost One is really boring, he did end up switching to the Curious One, which is another homebrew by the community, Epic Path. The Curious One wants to uncover the secrets of the world, of which there were many secrets to uncover. He, as a character and as a player, cracked every secret, every puzzle, every riddle, pretty much as soon as it was hinted at, and was
it was insane.
And was a very good sport, and kept those secrets to himself. But yeah, he ended up having to leave, similar to Larionis, but so close to the end. So pretty much right before the Praxis arc, I believe, is where he had to bow out on us. But was it, or was it right after Praxis arc? It might have been right after Praxis arc. I think it was right after Praxis arc.
It was right after we got thrown into the future.
Oh, yeah. So it was very sad. He was kind of the wake-up call of him having to drop from the game. That the game had been going on for like almost 4 years, and we probably needed to wrap it up.
We're like, all right, only 6 more months.
Yeah.
he actually DM'd me like way back, and he was like, "So the gods are dragons, right?" And I was like,
He
"We
did the same to
literally
me too."
just found that out." Like, we
Oh,
literally just
jeez,
found
that's
that
a
out.
close one. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. Whew.
And we had no clue.
Yeah, I
Just had no clue.
Yeah, I know. He was at Telemock, and he was like, Balmetria. Those are similar letters to Mitros, right? And I was like, bro, I don't know what you're talking. I don't know what are you talking about? And then he messages me like the next day. He's like, so this is my hypothesis, and it was pretty much just like the whole plot of the game. And I was like, all right, listen to me. You
Listen
will,
here, you little scrub.
yeah, you will be rewarded greatly by keeping your mouth shut. Consider yourself bound by the same thing that has everybody else in the campaign. All right, Nathan, introduce Andronikos Barbarian. That's
God
what.
damn. Every time I change that, it doesn't care. It just puts it back. Like I've changed it so many times. So Andronikos of Mitros is what he goes by, which was always fun because we had 2 people that went by of Mitros.
Mm-hmm.
3 people.
3 if you count Oren before he got his Dreamwalker title.
Yeah.
I started as a Oath of the Dragonlord Paladin. Well, I guess I didn't start as that because you don't get your subclass as Paladin until like level 3 or whatever. But that was what the goal was, is to be Oath of the Dragonlord's Paladin. I was a Haunted one, similarly to Red. And I very quickly became disillusioned with all of the gods and the nature of divinity in this campaign setting. And took basically every chance I could to shit talk the gods. Which tanked my piety with the god to which I was the champion of. She was not a huge fan. She argued with me every time we met in character. And I argued right back. Do they all have an excuse? Yes, absolutely. Did everything I say also apply and was accurate? Yes. They're terrible. I ended up changing to Barbarian after I lost all connection with Divinity, and that was when I became a god of speed for a little bit, and then I gave that shit up as soon as I got a good chance to. But then I did end up settling down as the holder of the Shard of Water.
Oh yeah.
All right. So
What's everyone's domains?
Oh man,
Yeah.
Can you ask that kind of stuff in a public place? I guess that's fine. Yeah. So at the end
As
of
long as Nessa doesn't tell me no.
at the end of their campaign, Astraeus was the god of death, and it was bittersweet because his wife, that was killed by agents of Lutheria and used as a sort of leverage against him. He was promised that she would be returned to life, but she became the god of life, and so the two of them really never get to see each other because he's down in the undersea or the nether seas, and she's up dealing with the tree of Thylea
Oh, no.
and all that kind
They
of
get
stuff.
to see each other now. That's why we get weather.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They do get to see each other in the spring and the autumn, but they have to stay apart in the summer and the winter, I believe.
What are the
Which I
pomegranates
told
in this
them
realm?
was extremely selfish.
Yeah. So in order for the two of them to still meet up for conjugal visits, they had to create seasons, which was Hades' idea, actually, because he was going through a similar situation in his marriage. So that's how they settled on that. And then Sibo is not here yet, so I'll speak for him. Sibo is the god of travel, portals, and travel. So basically finding access to things and getting access to things. All right, Cyrus. I mean, you got a pretty big one on your plate, I guess. Being, the dreamer. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Fair.
It's like, I don't know if it's technically a deity hood or just I am the
Like
realm.
the whole game engine. Yeah. Fair. Anastasia, are you legally allowed to discuss these things?
Yeah, I came very close a few times to trying to get a spark in a domain, but ultimately I ended up not doing that and just supporting my friends who were going through it, trying to become gods.
Okay, fair. Reset?
I don't think I got anything.
I think we both became planeswalkers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like eternal life planeswalkers.
You and your dragon were like, nah, that's good, and you kind of walked off into the metaphysical sunset, as it were. All right, Phil.
I'll be totally honest, this was so long ago. I don't even remember if I epilogued my spark away or not.
You took over Valor for your father, and you did end up keeping Valor.
Did I keep it?
Yeah,
Okay.
you did.
It was. There's a lot of controversy around the sparks in our party.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess Valor.
Okay.
We had to do the whole thing where the sparks had to be learned the old way of worship, instead of like we had a fast track that could give us power but would mess us up.
It essentially put everyone in a really shitty situation for two people. It was great. It was great.
Hypatia, did you you might be pushed to talk. Maybe. Are they there? Did they wander off? Alright. I'm pretty sure Hypatia finished with wisdom. Taking the wisdom from Valis at the end of the I believe it was at the end of the Battle of Mitros, and then dealing with the consequences of having a powerful domain but not having the training and the belief structure and the petitioners to deal with it. Oh.
I have to restart my Discord, like Discord streaming.
Oh, no worries. Okay.
I can push to talk.
Okay.
Yeah. So I also didn't hear anything you said. I'm sorry.
Okay. Everyone was checking in on domains at the end of the campaign, and you were wisdom at the end of the campaign. Still.
Yeah.
Right?
I was wisdom. I got that from Valis, from Hergeron.
Mm-hmm.
When we killed him in the Battle of
Hergeron,
Mitros.
yep.
Yeah. And then at the very end, I grabbed time as well.
Oof.
I kind of stole it from Lotus. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I'm not.
problematic.
I'm sorry, not sorry.
Problematic.
I also, I absolutely did get in trouble with Kabir and Nasir for that.
Mm-hmm.
But
Sparked up.
they let me keep it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
How did you bullshit your way through that?
You feel her steely gaze on you at the very back of the room.
I had to go to time cop school, and I had to accept probation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hypatia also has a matching ankle bracelet to the one that your Lotus Witch likes to wear. So.
Yeah.
All right, Julian.
Yes, I ended up with. So I started out with the Spark of Beauty, and then gave that up. It seemed expedient. And also, it didn't help that all of my joking about Sidon came back to haunt me after being reconstituted, after being obliterated. Ended up with the Spark of Knowledge at the end, though, to keep Grandpa Vulcan's keep the tradition going.
All right. Oren, you finish up with any sparks?
Yeah, Warren did end with the Domain of Dreams. Pick that up right there at the end, whenever Luthor split.
All right. Maya, domains at the end?
Yeah. Throughout the entire campaign, didn't get a domain and sort of avoided it. But at the end, she took up the domain of life so that she can sort of steward the waking part of the happy parts of the dream, while Oren took care of the nightmarish parts of the dream, and then get everything ready before she goes and takes over Thylea's job.
Nice. All right. And then Andronikos, you said you had the domain of water.
Yeah, so I died at one point, and Kyra gave me her spark to return me to life, which at the time we didn't know was going to send her to the Tree of Oathbreakers. But then we fucked time, so that part didn't really matter anyway. And then at the end of the game, I picked up the Spark of Water and saw over the sunken city and raised it back up to where it was supposed to be, at least part of it.
All right, nice. So I'm gonna change the music real quick. With all that kind of established of where you were and then where you were at the end, that who you guys are, I thought it'd be kind of neat if we just did a quick. Well, it doesn't have to be quick necessarily, but we did like a round robin around where like each of you can just ask a question. So if you have a question of anybody here, of me, of the other group in general, and then you get that question answered. Does that sound good for everybody, or?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah, it worked.
All right.
Yeah, maybe they go first since it's more fresh in their minds than it is in ours.
Sure. Andronikos, what is your question? What burning mysteries about the other timeline, about the other group of destined heroes, or about the campaign in general do you have?
Do you guys remember fighting any basic bitch NPCs that ended up being just an insane challenge based off of how they rolled? Because it happened to us twice. Straight out the gate, we had superhuman Sidonite. He was just the same as all of the other Sidonites in that encounter,
but better.
He just rolled like a fucking
He just had
dog.
superhuman rolls, though.
It was him.
And then later at the Fang, the fortress on Thylea, not Thylea.
Themis.
What the hell's the name of your? Yeah, Themis. I was like, Themyscira is not the right.
Close enough.
Anyway,
Pretty damn close. Yeah.
There was an Amazon guard on the inside that held us up for, I swear, 17 sessions. While we were just trying to get through a fucking door. It wasn't actually 17 sessions. It was more like
It was like 5.
Like 4 or 5 sessions, yeah.
5 sessions.
The Fang
yeah.
in general. The Fang in general
Damn.
was like 5 sessions. That was the fucking Hydra.
They
but-
refused to leave when they had plenty of opportunities to do so, but they didn't want to take the L and leave. So they
You don't finish a siege in a day, Crash.
It certainly was a siege, absolutely. Yeah. So I guess Prime, do you guys remember at any point in your adventure running into any non-named, non-mid-boss, just rank and file NPCs that were on another level or a higher level than they were supposed to be?
Oh, we also had Plate of Legend.
Oh, you did have the Plate of Legend too, damn.
Oh man,
yeah.
you never. Remember I threw you that token for the last version of that.
Yeah.
The Plate of Legend was a shard of the Plate of Legend was my spellcasting focus for the rest of the campaign where I was still a spellcaster.
Yeah. I mean, Plate of Legend did come back in the Nether Seas arena. Plate of Legend did come back as the champion of the arena, so there was that. But yeah, do you guys recall any that really stood out?
I don't recall any.
Yeah.
I can only think of like
I mean, we bullshitted our way out of a lot of fights.
Well, there was the Manticore in like your first like big deal, like I don't know if it was the big deal fight, but it was like there was a Manticore. It was kind of a big deal monster, and I think we were using the crit card still from Nord Games, and it just like one shot at Anastasia. And it wasn't a special Manticore. It was just a regular basic bitch stat block, and it did drop that sick like instant kill on Anastasia, and Kyra had to bust out the adventure provided Revivify scrolls.
Yeah, you still have an episode when you were doing your own like sort of DM diaries recaps.
Oh yeah,
they can watch that. Yeah, where you were like, oh yeah, and then fucking Gerber baby over here, and just I'd like do something. She was like, no, I'm Kyra, I'm doing my own thing. Oh, and then one of the people dies.
Yeah. That was the last session we used those cards, I think. That might have been the last session that we used the cards.
The Nord game critical hit cards at a story-driven long-form campaign, probably.
Yeah.
The funny thing is that's right after I one-shot the boar with the Nord crit card.
Yeah, so the first major boss of the campaign, you got a crit card and one shot of the boar, and then the next session, you got one shot, and then we were just like, yeah, we're putting these cards away.
And it was with a guiding bolt, which has been synonymous in a lot of your games with guiding bolts.
Oh, yeah.
Doing crazy things at low level.
I remember in Rhyme, one boss got one shot by a guiding bolt from Vitos.
I mean, it was a very formative experience in Skull and Shackles for sure.
Yeah, my very first roll in Skull and Shackles was a fucking guiding bolt
into a Nord Games crit card. Yeah,
quadruple damage crit, and just seared a hole through this supposed to be like mini boss.
I think it blew his head off, and then you made a gif about it.
Yeah. That was when you guys were deciding who would be the captain, and then they were having like friendly. You guys were having quote unquote friendly.
I wasn't there yet. That was pre-me.
Oh man.
But it was kind of fun because it did allow me, even though I did come back, it did allow me to play up the aspects of the lore of the Thylea and Siren, where they can only fly when they're happy. And obviously, I was pretty sad after dying for like a week, so I just couldn't fly or like do anything. So that was cool.
Yeah, it also gave Kyra a chance to break the touch barrier. You know what I'm saying? When she was putting your intestines back in your body, I'm saying that. Yeah.
I also want to say that there was. I don't remember this very clearly, but I think when we were going into the Temple of Thylea in Mitros, I think there was one of those golems was giving us a pretty hard time. I think it was killing everyone.
One of the bronze golems was
with the scythes. Yeah.
Oh man, that was kind of a nutso encounter for both groups actually. The Lutheria Temple that was pretty nuts for both groups. All right, there you go. You have your answer. Maya, you have a question for the group at large, me specifically, or anybody?
Yeah. So our group, we ran into one random NPC who it was just a random fight, and we were like, we gotta do better. We're not gonna kill this bandit, and this bandit turned into like our like sort of favorite NPC for the entire group. I don't know if you guys have
the group mascot.
Yeah, pretty much the group mascot, Telemachus. Like he has our slogan, our second slogan. Our first slogan is, do better. Our second slogan is my friends, So, yeah, I don't know if you guys have an NPC that is just like wasn't actually supposed to be part of the story or anything like that, but just for some reason.
Yeah. I forget his name. Our Bilbo Baggins.
Pedios.
Yeah. We pulled, what was the name of that island crash? The
the Exile.
We pull into Exile Island, and we meet Pedios on the docks, and he's like telling us about the island, and we're like, this place fucking sucks. We're just gonna leave. Do you want to come with?
Yeah, we just got off the island. When do you hear what happened to them?
He was our halfling burglar, and this guy, he came through for us because he covered skill sets that we didn't have, which were stealth.
Yeah.
That's good.
I also want to
Mhm.
say Bullbug became a
I mean,
pretty big
Bullbug was
NPC.
pretty much our mascot, I think.
Yeah.
And they didn't have a
I think that's
Bullbug,
our-
right?
No,
He
they
was
had
named
a
someone
they
else.
had a Tycon. So
Yeah,
it was
he was from my backstory.
yeah. Any chance to replace a story NPC with a backstory NPC, I always try to do that. So yeah, this was kind of a perfect fit for Tycon to kind of fill that role
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
Bullbug. Yeah.
I guess I just don't see Bullbug as not a main character, you know? So,
True,
He
yeah.
really was in our campaign the main character.
I also like how Andronikos has made a medal, and then our Bullbug's made a medal, so
That's
I
the
wonder who
same
got those items.
Yeah, it's the same item. Yeah.
It's so good.
Nice.
Yeah, I had
Nice.
it at first, and then I gave it to him.
Good until you get into an anti-magic field.
So this is a fun Pedios fact. So Pedios was in fact a randomly generated NPC like Telemachus for Prime, and then I kept Pedios in since I was using the prep for the island already for Mythic. So Pedios just, was there, but then your guys' Exile Island was way more fucked up, and so I knew Pedios at that point, pretty well. So I was like, I'm gonna give him a lot more of an important role, and we had already learned that Pedios' daughter was named Maya, and then Maya was named Maya, and it was a whole like amnesia-based adventure. So it kind of was like cool to have Maya be Maya for this guy, and yeah. So it all played out really well. But he actually was legitimately not pre-written into the adventure. Bullbug and then Tycon, who filled in for Bullbug, was a story NPC provided by the Raw Adventure. So definitely their Telemachus was definitely Pedios.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
yeah. They had a very good bullshit radar. Like they pulled up on Exile Island, they looked around and they were like, "Yeah, no," and they just fucking left. And I was like,
Yeah, we met some of those NPCs. I remember there was a tiny Minotaur that was kind of the head of everything.
Yeah, we might have walked off the. Yeah, I think we did walk off the dock. We went to one building and we're like, let's just fucking go.
Yeah.
I mean that was us with what you call it Titan's Folly.
Right.
Almost. I mean, what did we end up teaching them? We taught them about violence.
We taught them Misty Step.
Yeah, and that. Yeah.
Oh,
And you taught them violence.
You taught them violence. That was so good.
Those the mermaid keys?
You just gave me my question. Yeah.
All right.
Oh God.
Do you want to ask your question, or you want me to come around to you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Phil, what's your question?
What was the extent of the mermaid keys in your campaign, and how did you deal with it?
We did not deal with them at all. We avoided them like the plague.
Those motherfuckers on the shelf. As soon as we realized the implications, we were like, "Oh fuck! I hope they don't do anything with that." And then we saw them on Praxis, and we're like, "Oh well, fuck! They're out."
We got the Misty Step, and then we later saw one of their ships.
Yeah,
and
we were like,
"Well,
"Hey,
shit."
yeah."
And then we saw they were at Praxis. But at the end, we made their queen swear oaths, very extensive oaths, to never leave their little area.
We were very anti-oath. I don't think we made anyone swear an oath in the whole campaign.
Then we got it undone.
We used it a bit.
Yeah, we used it.
We saved the queen out of Praxis, and then we had to deal with the bug invasion.
We saved a couple people out of Praxis.
Yeah, a couple. Yeah.
Okay.
I think like
No,
30.
we did not purposefully. We intended to kill them. It's just they didn't all die.
Everybody, a lot of people that we didn't intend to died at Praxis.
Yeah, a lot of people we didn't intend to died at Praxis. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, they never got to meet this sexy fucking dude.
He's dead.
Yeah.
You didn't meet Gordon Ramses?
Well, technically, he's alive now, but in your original timeline, he's definitely dead. They blew up the tower with everyone inside. It was a full 9/11 terrorist attack.
Got that ass.
Did the Fates get out?
Well, the Fates weren't in there, but the Furies were. The Furies got out.
Yeah, that's what I meant. The Furies.
Yeah. Koopa Kid Halcyon got out, which caused a lot of trouble later on. Galaron did not get out. He got killed in the tower. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Yeah, basically they woke up the Titan underneath the tower, and then he dropped the tower, and then
He told him to put it down gently.
and then the star was still on top. So then that like kicked off the thing in a black hole.
He
and
jostled it, man.
yeah, so it didn't go so well. So they didn't know about Nephili or whatever. So
the dragons.
Oh,
yeah, well, they did meet the dragons. They did meet the problematic bro dragons. They didn't get to see the one turn into a gun, and they didn't.
Damn.
They didn't find out about Sidon's forced breeding program with his incestuous puppy mill for dragons, using a clone of Balmetria. So
that mean they didn't
That's
rescue
messed up.
her skull?
That's messed up.
They did not rescue the skull. It was still in the vaults at the end of the campaign.
Oh.
Yeah.
They didn't get
Wait a minute.
anything in the vault.
They never.
Nope.
Nope. They
No.
never made it to the vault.
Oh damn!
We went into Praxis to rescue the few people that were in the prison, and then we
Mhm.
intended to wake up Hergeron and have him set the island down and then leave. But yeah, it ended up just right as we got out, Hergeron woke up and then murdered. Well, the star
Black
blew up.
hole.
Yeah.
Yep,
Black
black
hole.
hole.
We never got Hergeron, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, the star went off a little too soon, and Hergeron's top half got blown up.
Yeah. Yeah. So like different thing, it happened differently. It's very
Wait,
fascinating.
so they didn't get to throw a polymorph dragon that was hiding inside a bread bowl?
Yeah, they never.
we did send a-
they
We
never.
fought
They
Sidon.
never. They never
Oh
found
my
out.
God,
They never
didn't
found
know
out the
about Operation Bread Bowl.
Yeah, they didn't get recruited for Operation Bread Bowl by Gordon Ramses or any of that. It was.
We
But-
never fought Sidon.
Yeah, they actually
They
never
never
fought
fought
Sidon.
Mhm.
Nope.
We never fought Sidon.
Oh
We
man.
did send a Hergeron's heart polymorphed into a small turtle down the pipes. in
Yeah, they
Praxis.
didn't do that though. Yeah.
There you go. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got crushed by it and then it killed us.
Their
Wait,
number
did
one. Their
Sidon
number
die in
one.
the tower?
Their number
or-
one priority was to save Hergeron because they wanted to get all the OG Titans saved. So their only reason for going to Praxis was to go in, free Isocles, so that he could remove the ice that held Hergeron's heart, and then get the heart out and back into the
Well,
Titan.
we were also
and
there
then-
to disable the star weapon.
Oh yeah, you did want to
Like,
destroy
we
the
did
Death
know that
Star.
was,
Yeah. The-
Yeah. We wanted him to put down Praxis in the bottom of the ocean so that it would the Doomsday weapon on the top can be destroyed.
But they didn't realize how unstable the star situation
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
I'm
Could
glad
happen
we got
to
the
anybody.
baby star out. That's all I got to say.
It could happen to anybody. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Could happen to anybody. Wait, did Sidon die in the tower, or did you
No,
guys just-
Sidon made it out of the tower. Halcyon got Sidon out of the tower in time.
Died in the apocalypse.
So the Sidon in their original timeline won the Battle of Mitros and brought about an age of peace and prosperity that lasted over 800 plus years for the natives, who allowed the non-native races to stay as slave races. It was a very happy ending.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, but Halcyon was so tired of these assholes that she burned out the domain of time that she was given to by her father, because she didn't get the domain of speed in their timeline because Kyra gave it to Andronikos before the oath ended, so that it couldn't be returned to the Titans, similar to what Pythor did with Valor for Philippocles. So Kyra got taken down and put on a tree. This guy started losing it because he was getting too many prayers and didn't have like the physiology or the experience to kind of handle it all. And then Halcyon threw a tantrum because she had been promised the domain of speed by her father. So he was like, I don't know, take this. I stole it a long time ago. And he gave her the domain of time. So that she was using the domain of time to simulate being a speedster. But because that's what she wanted. But then she got real hot with them in a battle they were having during the Battle of Mitros, and so she burned out the Spark of Time and sent them into the future so that they wouldn't have to fight. And then they ended up in a future where they hadn't taken part in the rest of the Battle of Mitros, and they had lost, and the world was doing great without them, and they were like, we can't have that. That's terrible.
We gotta get this shit back to normal.
Get the Lotus Switch on the line, and then the Lotus Switch was like, oh, I guess I'll help you. I don't have anything else going on. And then they went to the Island of Time, and they bamboozled the Sphinxes to deputize the party as time cops, with very explicit directions on what they were and were not allowed to do. And then they went back in time and didn't follow any of those instructions, and they broke the loom of creation. They broke the weave of magic, and they sent the new timeline that they had traveled to spiraling out of control. And then in that timeline, one of the random things that happened as a result of the time travel and the wild magic and the loom being destroyed was Lutheria kicked off the apocalypse early, before the Battle of Mitros, because without the loom, nobody was really able to keep track of like oaths and time and promises because everything was in chaos. So she just kicked off the apocalypse early. They never had a chance for Battle of Mitros, and then Sidon was like, well, Godzilla's over there, so I think maybe I'm gonna put down the whole Battle of Mitros thing for a bit, and I'm gonna go fight Godzilla or whatever. And the party was like, cool, bro. But then he died.
It was Cthulhu.
Yeah, he died to Cthulhu. So yeah, that's how their Sidon went down. One Sidon won, and then one Sidon was like, we'll fight our war later. Let's try to save the world, and then died in the process. So, yep.
Goddamn.
We hated Sidon. Just completely and totally.
I mean, he's a pretty hateable guy, especially when you find out about the Nephili stuff. Like, he's definitely a pretty hateable guy.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys start any horrible rumors about Sidon?
Is that your question, Julian? Is that your question? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, might as well be.
All right. So you want to give them some info, or you want them to answer first?
So I thought it would be fun to say that Sidon has a micro penis. That's what I ended up with. But it started out with when we got to dealing with the one of the Hydras.
I think it was a Storm Hydra.
Storm Hydra, yeah, Storm Hydra. Thank you.
Yeah.
It was a Storm Hydra. When we sought refuge in the abandoned temple to Sidon, I vandalized the reliefs, the mosaics on the ceiling.
We
bubbles. Is it in? Can you feel it? That sort of thing.
Oh, that's right. And that's why I had a post-it
Mhm.
note hanging above my desk for about 2.5 years that said, "Is it in? I can't feel it," or something like that. And
yes,
yeah. When my parents were over and they wanted to see my renovated office, they saw the post-it note and they were like,
Whatever you're into, we don't kink shame.
Sidon had a post-it note that said the exact same thing on his monitor.
Yeah. Because I was like, I need to keep every time I think that Sidon should cool his jets about how much he hates Julian, I would just look and see the post-it note, and I'd be like, all right, got it.
Because of that, we couldn't put Julian in water.
Yeah, no, we were only ever unfairly victimized by Sidon. Like when we arrived at Mitros and I was one-shotted with a lightning bolt for no damn reason.
Oh, that happened to me too.
Yeah, just totally one-shotted.
Oh no, he tried
to
to nuke Maya. Orin was nearby, and I had my interception, so I interposed himself. And then Orin ate the lightning bolt, and he had the half work feature, so he tanked it and stayed up at 1 HP. Just mean mug the sky.
Yeah. Sadly, being the squishy wizard, I not only died, I insta-died. I did not have death saves died.
Oh, and didn't you had to burn your your epic recovery, right? Where
Oh damn.
Damon shows up and is like, what the fuck, girl? What's going on here?
That's like right after we left talking to him too.
Yeah, and there was no reason. It was totally unfair.
That's a good question. Like, where did everybody lose their first death?
Oh yeah.
Oh man! All right, we
Wolves.
could circle back around. I want everybody who hasn't asked a question to get a chance to ask a question, but we'll definitely put a pin in that one.
But as for rumors, to address the question, I don't think we made up rumors about anybody. We're very like deal with your problems head on party.
I know that you guys, as well as the Mythic group, had some real like frustrations with the BBEGs of the campaign being like literally right in front of you, like
like hanging out,
hanging out with people, and they were worshipped, right? It's like nowadays, right? We've seen the boys, right? And you got Butcher and crew, and they're like, "Don't you guys fucking see? Like, don't you see? Homelander, bad guy." And then, yeah, it was kind of that vibe, right? Where like, you guys know that they're no good, but everyone's like, "They're so great. Let's throw them another parade. Oh, I can't wait." And all the political leaders are like, "No, Sidon's a total bro. He's just the best." Yeah.
Oh, I guess we did kind of show him up in that one parade when we first went to Mitros, when he had like his stuff, and then we like had Balloonacles. Just completely outshining him.
I remember
Get
that.
the better float.
He hated us. I think he really didn't like us because like we'd show up all his followers whenever like we had a chance to make his followers look bad. We did, and we did it really well for due to dice rolls or whatever. Our plan just when they tried to sacrifice us, when they tried to, we just nullified all their plans, and it made Sidon's just look bad.
It definitely had that vibe of like Saturday morning 1980s Shredder, just like Uncle Phil just shaking his fucking fist at the screen because like those goddamn Ninja Turtles like did it again. Like it kind of had that vibe where no matter what happened, you guys somehow slipped by or skated by or just made or just made it through. Yeah, it was good stuff. All right, Anna, did you have a question you want to ask?
Oh, there's so many. To pick one that I think would be kind of funny though. How many problems did you solve with whales? We solved a lot of problems with whales.
I think we just had the one.
Yeah, the one where it really worked.
What was the big?
We tried a couple
what was
times.
The big whale solution? Was it Skilla? Was that the big whale solution, or was there a different?
No, Skilla did not help. The whale did not help that.
Oh, okay.
No,
he got wrecked. It was in the nether arena.
The arena.
Oh, the nether. Oh,
yeah, the arena.
You're there. Oh, awesome. Hey. Yeah.
We got him.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It took me a couple months to finish this Stormlight Archives.
No worries.
So yeah, I'm back now.
All right. So yeah, we're back and forth. We're kind of round robin right now, having everybody ask just whatever question they want to kind of ease into it, sort of thing.
Yeah, I had this completely original idea to turn into a whale during a fight that I didn't get from any other.
Oh yeah, fair.
So yeah.
Hey man, I spent the whole late game as a whale.
Yes, and actually, your Tower of Praxis whale encounter still makes me laugh to this day, because everyone was so stressed. You were fighting so much tough shit at the second to top floor, third to top floor of the tower, whatever. And you were like, how long do I have to hold my breath? Or something
I told you, Phil, whales can breathe air.
It was just so good. It was so good.
Yeah, we
man.
solved the main
Those
one. We
are fun
solved was
memories,
like we were on like round 17, like hour 8 of the Nether Seas boss rush, and Sibo turned into a whale to tank a couple of hits and live.
Yeah.
I think it was like 2 or 3 polymorphs back to back or something.
Yeah. Well, and it was only against the Plate of Destiny though.
Yeah.
That was the one killing us.
I remember you spent like half your hit die, or maybe all of your hit die at the time, to use your patron thing to get another casting of polymorph to be a whale again.
Just full nosebleed, yeah.
Yeah, the other times where it didn't work, we tried it again fighting the Arasta, like the Fate Spider. Didn't work. And then we've tried it one more time on Skilla, but it didn't work because the con saves concentration checks were too high.
Skillet was dropping some pretty fat hits. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we made the barbarian the whale.
Good
Yeah,
call.
the late game was literally I tank with my full hit points, and then they're like, "Oh shit, Phil's gonna die," and Anna's like, "I'll turn him into a whale," and then I just spent the rounds floundering on the ground.
Just taking
He's
it,
so
just being
serious
beaten
and-
savagely.
Yeah, or the tank.
And
Well,
like I'm
you
usually
also
I'm
use
the
it as a
wizard like
submarine
sniping from
sometimes.
behind
Yeah,
the
yeah, we
whale
do.
from cover.
Sometimes in the whale's mouth, right? Didn't you sometimes like ride in the whale's
Oh, yeah.
mouth? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that was me, Anastasia.
Yeah.
Anastasia, yeah.
Phil,
But
Oren's
then there
tanking
was
is,
one time I remember it was when we were fighting the Kraken, and the Kraken had those little fuckers that make you forget your memories, the little frog guys. And I forgot that
yeah.
I forgot that I wasn't a whale and swam away from everyone. We're like, oh shit, what are we gonna do? Eventually it came to though.
I think for us, the issue is that if we turned like either our barbarian or our fighter into a whale, then we wouldn't have any damage. So
Yeah.
We had a reset and a Cyrus, so
Yeah.
They had some pretty good. They had extremely good DPS. You guys were definitely we're gonna solve this without dealing a shitload of damage. To the point that at one point when we were still using Giphy glyphs, like I talked to Giphy about your damage output. I was like, guy, I can't use defenders anymore in my game. Like they they don't deal enough damage. So he's like, yeah, you should definitely let this group solve problems other ways.
You ever heard of talking? Hey, or I could deal damage to one person, one at a time.
Yeah.
They need to take a fucking ticket, get in line, and then towards the end, oh man, using up all them hit die.
I think most of the reason we set it up being so good at combat is because the fights ended up becoming so difficult. Like every fight like past in the post game was just like twice or three times as hard as the fight before that. That especially, I think the first time that happened was against Sidon in the Battle of Mitros, where when he went full Geigen mode, he was making like 6 attacks every paragraph action. It was like,
I'm kind of sad you guys didn't fight Sidon, to be honest.
yeah.
Kinda
Every
bums me out.
fight just kind of like almost like a DPS, like can erase like
This was
oh,
a tricky
okay.
campaign for me because the campaign was written and as like, this is character centric. You can't have the characters die. We built in all these like extra lives or whatever so that they won't die, and even if they do die, they just go to the nether seas and you can keep going because like it's character centric. And I was like, okay. So I was like, oh, well then I guess it's going to be kind of a laid back, like, romp. No, it was not. Because then the adventure's like, this needs to be the most epic shit in the whole world. I mean, it's got to be epic as fuck. I mean, it's
If
got
you
to
don't
be
kill
so...
someone here,
it's like we built this encounter so that they're definitely going to have to use some of those like level ups. And I was just like, oh, okay. And I remember you guys being like, dude, you said this was not going to, you said not to worry about min-maxing our characters. And I was like, it's fine. And they're like dying in like the 3rd session. I'm like, it's fine. It's going to be okay.
I didn't listen to that shit. I showed up my min-maxed fucking human fighter. I was like, let's do this shit.
And still died a lot. Still
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think the first before level 5, I think I died 3 times or 4 times.
Yeah, it was definitely brutal.
And to commiserate real quick with Maya and Sibo, how fun was it to try and heal? Stop.
I eventually
gave
stopped
up.
trying to heal.
Yeah, you just kind of gave up.
I just heal myself and then pray.
Just need to heal every other round or two.
Yeah, you act like I'm so hard to heal. There's so many hit points, It's easy.
5e is definitely
It's a big target.
It's definitely built. The meta is built around healing word. Or in the Warlocks thing, you toss out a d6. You're like, get back up.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but that doesn't matter when you have lingering death save.
I mean, you guys definitely had a harder time with the lingering death saves for sure.
Skill issue.
Yeah.
Like the
I got
tanking.
a lot easier. I got a lot more survivable with Barbarian 14, where you got the saves.
Yeah.
And I had like a 30 constitution.
And for healers, once you get access to like heal and like mass heal and all that kind of stuff, like then it becomes a bit more of a healing and can actually make a difference or whatever. But like there's not a lot of like topping people off in 5e.
True.
Yeah, there's just not. You can't out heal the damage of like bosses in 5e, unfortunately. Like, it's just
Well,
not
I
how
think
yeah.
And
I
as a
think it got a
warlock, I
lot
could never
easier.
get heal or power.
I thought it was a lot easier for us when our tank started actually being targeted and fighting.
Yeah, that's
Whoa,
true.
whoa,
That's
whoa,
true.
whoa. You saying that
Oh
Orin
god, I
wasn't tanking?
wonder, what's that like?
No, we're saying Andronikos.
I call it tanking from the ground. All right, like
Hey, once
So,
I got those
originally
polymorphs,
built
Which you
Andronicus to be,
excelled
like,
at, and then like it went to another level when you had that Zephos that was like, yes,
I mean,
I
just-
can be at my
uh,
best with 1
yeah.
hit point.
Yeah,
they got
what's that
ratcheted up.
That Zephos, that after that point, we just stopped healing Orin because
Well, here-
They
Yeah,
were supposed
yeah.
to-
I'm just saying that your tank was very forgettable, you know? Like, they'd be in the battle, and they'd look around for, like, interesting people to fight, and, like, they just, like, there's this guy
There's a
over here, I
purple guy
guess.
right
Yeah.
They're like, this guy, or the human finder.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Orin's whole personality to start was like, "Yeah, fucking come at me, bitch." And it'd be like the fifth dude would come out. And Orin's like 1 HP, and Crash is like, "What do you do?" And I'm like, "I fucking beckon him over here. I tell him to get in line. I insult his mother and call him a loser. Get him over here."
Yeah, honestly, I had never seen a tank. I mean, even Mother Ketrin in Outlaws gets hit more, and she's a ghost than Andronikos when he was a paladin. It was crazy. Like, every once in a while, like, a bad guy would be like, "Well, I can't reach anyone interesting. I guess I'll fight you," and then they'd miss, and they would feel like,
And
yeah.
they'd be like, well, okay.
I just
And then
remember
you would
the-
miss, and then they would miss,
yeah,
and then you
yeah,
would miss.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, actually, you would get hit from the Nat 1 reaction, like the building falling down. That's the first time you get
Yeah.
hit.
Yeah.
It was like,
Oh yeah, the deck save.
we had the buildings fall down on us. Like every fight, it
was
seemed
a
like
good
before
tactic.
like level 10.
So a lot of times it was intentional.
I got a question. Reset, do you have a question you want to ask?
Yeah, I have
Alright.
a question.
Go for it.
I have a spicy question actually.
Oh, a spicy question.
Um,
Okay.
Well, at first I was thinking of asking about Aresia, and then I realized he likes Aresia, so I'm not gonna ask that one. I'm gonna ask so essentially for Odyssey Prime. So because of the whole like Greek setting and stuff, pretty much by the end of the campaign, Crash, as like literally every NPC, pretty much had his own harem of player characters. So I was wondering about like the relationships, because in our group, literally every character had a relationship with an NPC
Oh yeah.
by the end.
Yeah.
Or more.
So I was wondering like what it was like in Mythic.
We had like one charisma character. so-
my turns to look at Sibo and Andronikos.
Oh,
So
what were the pairings? We had Nessa with Cyrus. We had Kyra with Anna. Hold on, let me grab your Kyra. Let's see. I mean, they're all the same Kyra, but you know, like, let's see. There we go. Then Reset. On again, off again with Valis. I mean, there's also that
And
Letheria. Yeah.
the worst
Phil's
part is
table
every-
is over here. Phil's table is over here. Hypatia and Chandris, which when Chandris died for Hypatia, it did kind of cause some waves in the plot
Really
line.
broke the world after
She
that.
she went a little bit off the deep end. Yeah.
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 All right, so Mythic, what do you got to answer Reset's question?
So early on, Andronicus ended up with. Well, first off, so Andronicus had a family. They were all fucking murdered and forgotten about.
Spoilers.
So yeah, sorry.
I haven't got
No,
that
no,
far.
this is
damn.
super spoilers. This whole is super spoilers.
So they were all dead. Nobody remembered them. And then so his entire motivation at the beginning was what to do to get his family back, and then because he missed all that like connection. So then we started off the game with going after the giant boar, and then the other party before you having failed, we recruited the cleric from that party into our B team, and that was Halise, who was like, I think she was like art breeder art of like Siri and like,
She was one of the survivors of the group that failed against the boar.
Yeah.
Because there was that group that fought the boar first, and then they got their asses kicked, and then some of them died, and the rest of them fled in shame or whatever. Yeah.
So yeah, we
Andronicus saw the
recruited her
smoky eye
at
and
the
was just
inn, or at the tavern to like lead us to where the boar was, and then we convinced her to stay with us. She's a like head priest of the 5 or whatever they are at this point, and Andronicus ended up with her for a while, and sort of like at the point we were both very faith motivated. That didn't last super long for Andronicus, but it did last very long for Thylea. And then they sort of drifted apart a little bit as the game went on, and they had their own like goals that were
and
not.
You started like vocally bashing her
all
gods.
the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we Andronicus had the winery incident with Julian's mom, Kyra, where
I was in on that too.
One of the episodes I wasn't there for.
And it was, also one of the people from Kyra's band. I can't remember what his name was.
Was it Uria?
The winter,
Of
the winter
autumn
wind.
wind?
The blue guy.
The blue.
The evil X's, right?
Boreal.
The blue. I think Winter. Whoever was Winter.
He's like Boreal or something.
Yeah,
It was like a
Boreal.
vineyard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy with the
So,
elephants.
After that,
Boreas. There we go.
Andronicus and Kyra had a thing for a while. But he didn't ever want to have anything last super long because he, like, the whole point was he was still wanting to go after and get his family back. So they still very much cared about each other throughout the entire game, but nothing, like, they didn't ever fully pursue it. And then Kyra ends up with Telemachus, which was fantastic. And then at the end, Andronicus walks into the portal to Elysium and rejoins his actual family after he'd freed them by breaking the fucking site.
Yeah, no big deal on that one. No big deal. So it happens.
Light work.
So, believe it or not, in both campaigns, there was a dungeon called Inside the Scythe, where you could have gone inside the scythe and just saved your families.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think we were very afraid that there was not going to be any way out of the site.
Oh yeah, no, I could definitely
Because it was like
being
its
worried
whole
about
shtick
it. Yeah.
is like trapping aberrant horrors and otherworldly beings and shit. So we were like, well, we're just a couple of schmucks. Like, if we get in there and we get fucking stuck, we're cooked. Like, So
yeah, there was a time where I almost became the goddess of death because just to be with the scythe, but then ended up Sorry, go on.
Just wrap it up.
All right. Are you done boasting of your conquest, Andronicus?
Yep, that's it.
Okay. All right. Sibo, do you have any romance you want to mention or brag about?
Yeah, I mean, Sibo just banged everybody. Like it was just like, So when Sibo, one person, when Sibo rescued Nessa from the Scorpion curse and became kind of like Navi avatar entwined with her, they actually were like more like best buds for the longest time, and then we had our Exile Island.
Oh
arc.
Yeah. Oh man.
I just
and they were
pushed over the edge.
confused.
Yeah.
They were confused about like their attraction or like in like connection to each other, and it turned into more sexual than it had before, and then that turned into a long-term thing. But Sibo also had just kind of like the everybody thought he was a cute little buddy, and all the girls were around him. Like he had Falana and Versi and Kyra, and everybody kind of looked after him all the time. Everybody else, but so yeah, that was the extent of that. But he did have the Nessa.
Mm-hmm. And
I feel like
you are leaving one person out, your wife.
Back home out in Noriande.
Back home in
I'm
Noriande.
Hey, what happens in Thylea stays in
All
Thylea.
right, fair.
It
You
was
did ask
84 years.
Okay, you did ask about Thylean conquests. All right, fair enough.
But did you bang the fates?
Ugh.
You fucked him up, if that's what you mean.
No, I meant penetration.
Oh my
No,
god.
no. Well, yeah. So yeah, we fucked him up. Yeah, same thing. Right?
With
There
the
was a lot of stabbing.
I mean, Andronicus penetrated the lube of time, so.
Was fucking feet.
I mean, admittedly, you did get with the daughters at least, right? I mean, you know, Nuna's pretty cute, you know.
Yeah, she ripped my face off.
Decima, she did rip your face off. Yeah.
Look.
Here we go. I'll
A
put
couple times, yeah.
Someone needed to jump on that grenade, all right?
Wait, I thought you were talking about you banged the new fades. You banged old fades.
Like I
Damn.
said.
Phil,
There was a
Phil was an
bargain.
adventurer, okay? Like he was ready to make it happen.
Hey, I
It
can
was like
see
Dr.
you in.
Strange
he
went
was
for
a
Pythor's
Mamamoo.
son.
Slumber then.
Pythor's son, you know.
All right, so
Hey, you ever get freaky with that thing?
so a fun Easter egg about Nessa is in the Raw adventure, Nessa does prefer halflings. So
Yeah.
I did mention that in Prime when you guys met Nessa. She did ask about halflings, if you'd seen halflings before, if you knew any halflings. So of course in their game, when an actual halfling showed up, it was over for her. That was all she'd ever wanted.
And he actually is built like a horse in some ways too. So it makes
Yeah, it's
sense.
very big teeth. It's very big
Yes,
teeth.
very big teeth.
Really freaky feet. They're like hooves. Yeah.
Maya, do you have any conquests you'd like to boast about?
I think Maya didn't pursue anyone throughout the entire campaign.
Yeah,
Um,
I
In
honestly
your
thought
first
that Maya
campaign-
was just sort of like asexual. So at the end of the campaign, when you're like, and then I have a kid to carry on my legacy, I was like, okay.
And like it was like who like for her it's just like, okay, I need to have a kid to do the thing. And then she goes and looks around. That's pretty much it.
Purely
But
logistical.
but this is the only I think throughout the entire campaign this is the only person who tried to approach Maya, so she ended up going to him.
So whenever they're like, "What are you doing now, Maya?" Like, what comes next? You're like, "I think we're gonna go find that guy."
Maya's reading a book about like dating, and it's like she gets to the part about flirting, and she's like, "Wait, someone has flirted with me before." Hops,
Yeah.
walks through a tree.
Walks through a tree, yeah.
Shows up in Vitros. Goes to the detective agency. All right, fair enough. Oren, do you have any Greek Odyssey conquest or love to discuss?
I mean, due to Oren's situation with being doomed and destined to die horrifically, and learning that on many occasions, he was in mostly, I think, pretty platonic. He did have a couple flings here and there that didn't go beyond like a night, but for the most part, he was goal oriented with getting to the end, the hero's prophecy, and he didn't really have time or care to go for anything else other than that.
I don't know.
I think it was
you tied to that dwarf. She told you how to properly wield a spear.
Yeah, there's a couple flings, yeah, but nothing long term.
The only thing that captured Oren's heart was rope and his
True,
and,
the utility,
heart.
Yeah,
the utility of it all.
You had things that you loved and cared about, and then I think you kind of found love, but not in like a romantic way at the end. I think you finally found the NPC that was your NPC. At the very
Yeah, you know, unironically,
Well, yeah, Georgos.
Conway. Yeah,
oh,
Conway,
and Georgos,
Georgos.
your best friend. Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Wait, Edicus? Oren did have a harem, just a harem of guys.
Yeah.
just some chill guys.
he always
Dude,
had a team of 6 for rivals. He
He did.
There you go. All right,
I'm going-
Julian.
Real
do you-
quick, Crash, you can get him out of here now. I mean, the past is the past.
They're not leaving. Oh, fuck. Good luck.
All right, Julian. Do you have any mythic conquest to boast of?
Not really.
Oh,
I mean,
really?
there was.
Oh,
Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, that was not really followed through on. There were promises made and promises broken.
I see.
I remember hearing about a certain satyr for
Oh,
quite
yeah.
a while.
That's my fault. I let that sort of fizzle out. Listen, there were big fucking stakes.
Everybody does. Lorius is like my first boyfriend, and then when things start to get real rough, everyone's like, I just don't want him to get hurt. I don't know. And then yeah.
They're like, "What do you bring to the team?" And he's like, "I'm a real goal. I'm a team player." They're like,
Oh my
"Yeah,
god!
we're gonna take the God Killer."
I forget what we were doing, but we were like, we need certain bard spells or something, and we're like, Lorius, what spells do you have? And they were just the worst fucking spells.
Then he went to prison. For a bit?
He did go to
serve some
prison.
time.
Because he cheated. Because he cheated in the Great Games. That's why.
Oh yeah, he cheated
Oh,
for us.
yeah.
Yeah, he cheated for you guys in the Great Games, and they threw him in jail. Yeah. And he was a hard man afterwards. Not as hard as Sweet Roll after prison, but he was still pretty hard. He was still pretty hard after. Yeah, Thug Roll. Sorry, he went in sweet. He came out thug. Yeah, that's right. All right. There you go. Astraeus would like to, by proxy, boast of his sexual conquest. He was a concubine of Versi for 500 years, and they banged daily, and it was real wet because she was a fish.
I mean, Julian got with Versi too.
Damn. All right. And then he also had sex with his wife. Not during the adventure, but, you know, that is a person that is a woman, and he did hook up with her.
Andronicus did that too.
Damn.
Yeah,
All right.
okay.
With Astraeus' wife, dang.
Phil,
Oh, dang, wait a second.
Philippe's over there finishing the campaign with 3 wives. Yeah, all right, so Astraeus is like, well, I was married to my work, really, so.
I understand.
Yeah.
We had some problems about that.
All right, beautiful. Good question. Stone/Cyrus, you got a question?
Sure. I wanted to ask, did you have any characters die?
Ooh.
As the person who did, did.
Oh, like dead and they did not
And then
opt to
replaced?
bring them
Oh,
back.
like all of our deaths.
It's more just like, did anybody have like a character reason?
Dead and replaced.
Yeah.
I think the only person who actually played a separate character after they died was Oren.
Oh yeah, Oren did play a separate character.
I originally
2 separate
played
characters.
Orin to start, and died many times, but usually was coming back pretty quick. At one point, he made a deal for his life in exchange for Maya and Andronicus, coincidentally on the Exile Island, whenever Lutheria came to pick up the false Hydra. So we didn't have the means to resurrect either of them, and Andronicus was all over the floor. He'd been deconstructed, and Maya was dead. So Orin traded his service in exchange for that, Lutheria bringing them back. So he came back and rejoined the party as Nim, a intrepid bard of whatever they changed love to, bard of friendship or something, bard of peace.
I think you were a glamour bard / peace cleric.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. Peace cleric and glamour bard, or something like that. Maybe not glamour. I think glamour's got too much utility. Whichever was like the talking to people bard. And then it was great because soon after
Eloquence.
soon after they got recruited, that's when we went to the raid the Fang on Themis, and it was just combat. So Nim was very useful, very cool there. The one charisma check he had to make, he failed miserably. Or they failed miserably. It turns out, after going to the Fates and dealing with the anti-magic door guardians, when the anti-magic blasted Nim as they were valiantly saving Sibo from certain death, Nim was actually Narcissus, the one of the 5 gods, in disguise, having infiltrated the Heroes of Prophecy to try and prove themselves and maybe make up for the guilt that they felt towards not joining the original 5 in their battle.
Yeah, because you guys stole Narcissus from
we stole Narcissus from Arisia.
We did. So he'd been kicking around the ship, and then with Orin gone, he was like, "Oh, well, if they need help, Enter Sage, it can't be that people always talking up adventurers. It can't be that hard. It can't be that difficult." So they joined up. But then after they died and they were on the 2-week cooldown, then we got the real big guns. Then I brought in Fred.
Yeah, dude.
Fred with a PH to be specific.
Oh yeah,
He
I
was-
love the
'cause
fact that that's how you always introduced yourself.
you were
He was.
burning through those characters for a while.
These are in the course of like 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
And then so Fred, he was a chill dude that wanted to be the biggest guy, not just on Fire Island where he was hanging out with the surfer turtles. He wanted to be the biggest guy on Thylea, but not just in size. Like he of course wanted to be the biggest guy in size, but also the most. He wanted to be like the biggest guy in heart. And he wanted to be a friend to all, and he was always down to help. But he was born small. He was a small turtle barbarian that learned the secrets of growing large from a dragon turtle. So I used that what at the time was the homebrew Path of Giants. It was the giant barbarian and the rune knight fighter, which I used in combination to grow large.
To go from small to large, yeah.
Yeah, small to large. So, and he was a good time. I think he was around. He was kind of perturbed by the Heroes of Prophecy. Have heroes in their name. Some of their methods that they employed, like murdering random passerbyers and innocents, or taking the path of convenience. But he voiced his concerns and stuck with the program.
Yeah, I think I remember Fred. Didn't we arm wrestle?
He did. Yeah, Fred got like a 36, and you got like a 28 or something.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, we don't know for sure what the actual numbers were.
Phil felt very depressed during that.
Yeah, Phil
D&D
it was
session.
really
Yeah.
down. He was really down. He was really
Oh
down.
yeah, Phil was going through some shit.
Yeah,
man.
you were
Yeah,
you
Fred,
were
he
you were
felt
ki- you were
that,
kidnapped by the low switch from like a bridge or something. It was a whole thing. So on their end, they had a Warforged lost one. So they were on the airship that Kentamane pulled out of the sky, and they were lost at sea, washed up on Themis. A lot of people on Themis are into artifice, so they replaced all of his broken parts with wood, like driftwood and wooden parts, or whatever. And because he didn't have a penis, they figured it would be okay to train him in being an Amazon. So he was like the only dude Amazon, because he did identify as a guy, and eventually, he had his own conquest of Themis before he left. However, during the battle against Esther, when Esther was killed, his soul fled into this sort of wooden body and possessed him. And I will say that Stone did a amazing job, and we did discuss like, hey, this is a situation I don't want you to do if you're not comfortable, blah blah blah. And he owned it, like he went with it. Of kind
sabotaging my teammates and stuff.
Oh yeah, being like evil during like the tournament arc. He was pulling all kinds of shady Esther shit, like sabotaging teammates and like stealing wins for himself, and it was like
we
completely
try not to revisit those moments.
Yeah, but it was completely out of character for him, and so they did start to kind of like pick up on like, what the fuck is going on, and then they found out. But
oh yeah, we had private conversations without Stone about what the fuck we're gonna do about Stone.
Like, why is he acting like this? Like, why is he suddenly being like such a shit? Like he took one for the team, like hardcore. And then they finally figured it out, and they sprung magic circle trap on him, and they got him and everything. And Esther just basically destroyed his body. And then at that point, Stone was kind of like, the character. Now that I've made him be like a dick, I feel like he's gonna have that baggage with him, and I have this other idea for character, and I kind of want to try something different. And so the character just didn't survive essentially the process with Esther. So Esther actually took that guy out. In Mythic, Esther actually got into Corinna. Yeah. But they kind of, I think you guys saw through that one pretty quick.
Yeah,
that was really
when she was so angry all the time.
Yeah,
bully Corinna. Yeah, that lasted like all of 2 sessions, and we were like, damn.
Because Corinna was just like in their game. Well, in both games, Corinna's a real sweetie. Like she's real sweet. And so like all of a sudden she's going around like slapping people with her dick. You know what I mean? Like you're like, get out of my fucking way, nerd.
Just throwing like dirt into people's eyes.
Yeah. So yeah. There were a couple on Mythic's, on Prime side where characters were taken out of commission for a while and then they played other people. Reset left for a while and was replaced by the incredible Cabbage.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
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 Two of the like stars, I think.
Yeah, Cabbage voted #1 NPC over Astraeus, who only came in at #2. It's kind of nuts. It's kind of nuts.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Well, we did have a
we won't,
Lecty
we
when we
won't
first
talk.
started.
We won't talk.
Yeah,
about,
we don't need to. We don't need to bring
we won't
that
talk
up.
about who came in to replace you when you went missing.
I can't even remember his name. Like,
It was in all the years, all my years of knowing you, I've never seen you roll worse than you rolled with that character. It was so.
and it was with probably the worst homebrew
named
class
Dimitri.
I've created.
Yeah.
Dimitri.
Dimitri, that was his name, and he was from the Valda's Spire of Everything. He was that martyr class that everybody was so horny to try out, and then it was terrible.
Wow, turns out dealing damage to yourself as the frontline tank is a horrible mechanic. Crazy.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
There he is. There he is. Oh man, I can sit by you. No, I'll get rid of him. Okay. Yeah. No.
Show him the
This should be a
door.
trash can somewhere.
Wait, that's
around
just
here.
Prince of Persia from the second from Warrior Within.
Listen.
Yo.
He definitely had the vibe of like the showrunners are like, okay, so the guy that's playing Phil, like in his contract, listen, he's making a movie right now.
He's filming the Avengers.
Yeah, we got to write him out for a little bit. So we're gonna bring in this guy. He tested well with test audience, and like, are you sure he did? And they're like, yeah, it's gonna be great. And like 2 episodes in, people were like, yeah, I'd like to cancel my streaming service. Like, I'd never want to watch the show again.
Oh shit!
Yeah. Like, we dropped that dude. They immediately were like, we got to get Phil back. Like, as soon as this Dimitri guy showed up, it was a big motivator. Just, all right, let's find Phil. Let's get out of here.
Renegotiate the contract. Get him back. Whatever he wants.
Oh my god, it was really bad. Who else? Were there any other substitute characters that you guys ran when you were?
Oh yeah, we had Queefsting.
Oh,
Queefsting
you
was
did have
Oh yeah, we had
because you got captured by Ventus.
Ventus,
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Queefsting showed up. He's a goblin from the Eel tribe. So
He was a goblin.
yeah, we were doing it before we knew it was the thing you could do in Pathfinder 2. Adopted ancestry. He was the little halfling baby that was raised by goblins. So
He's a halfling. Wow.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, biologically, at birth he was a halfling, but
In all ways, but
yeah.
mental.
but obviously he was a goblin.
We technically had another character on our side. We had Alexi.
You did have Alexi, the Breaker of Chains.
Oh, yeah. And Reset was also Katya for a while.
Yes, you were
True.
also. Because you had that moment where you were like unsure of like who you were and what you should do, and like you felt like Lutheria had led you astray, but you couldn't lead her out of the darkness, and like what were you doing about Valis, and you needed to be your own person, and yeah, you like left the party for like a deep dive into yourself, and then you played as Grandma.
I remember the letter.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
Katya
Yes,
was
I
a
can
great
swim.
character.
Katya was pretty dope. I think you did a great job with Katya. I think, yeah, Katya was a really fun NPC. Yeah. And in your guys'
When we
timeline,
had
Katya lived in your guys' timeline, and she's a famous advisor to kings and queens everywhere. So
She was,
Yeah,
she
we
was
had that
instrumental.
episode where we had like that back where we had like a solo session, and then you
Yeah.
had one for Phil as well.
yeah, those were good. Those was fun.
So their Katya's are Brianna.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, your Brianna's mostly good alignment though, and their Katya is definitely lawful evil. But Sibo,
Feel like
you might be happy to know that
Brianna was another random ass NPC too.
Prime
Well, not
Ventus,
pretty big.
Prime Ventus did get a happy ending. Prime Ventus did get a happy ending.
Oh, that's
So,
nice.
Yeah.
One of
Yeah.
Phil's wives.
Yeah. She never stopped being evil though. She stayed true to herself the whole
Do you
game.
want to know what her B team ability was, guys?
Yes.
50% more gold from every time we found gold.
What?
That's
She
nice.
kept it.
Oh, she kept it.
Well, no, but Phil would just give it to her. Like,
Oh.
yeah. Phil wasn't good with money, like his father. So
We weren't very good with money either.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Just-
were.
just-
We were great with
You
money.
should have seen how much we spent on those canoes.
Yeah, Phil didn't value money.
Hypatia, have you asked a question of everybody yet? Do you have a question?
I haven't, and
Okay.
I can't decide between two. What did you do with the OG Greek gods? What did you do with them?
Oh,
It's a good question.
We incorporated them into
Whoa!
the
You're saying they're Greek gods? Hold on a second. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
Keep
wait a
going.
yeah, copyright strike from ancient Greece. No, we incorporated them into the new pantheon. We only let anybody have one spark, except for Kintamane, because there was no way we were talking Kintamane out of Earth and destruction. But
Yeah, we sent them a notice, but he didn't
afterwards, everybody only
respond.
got one spark.
Our
And
Kintamane left.
There's and
Well,
become
that's
gods,
because your Thylea left.
like worshipped gods.
Yeah, your Thylea
Yeah,
left, and then
we
your
used the
Kentamane left.
loom to keep all of the spark-wielding creatures in check.
We put them on the timeline, basically. And then they put them 500 years max that you're allowed to have a spark.
Yeah, they definitely set up their campaign world that 500 years from now they're gonna have a fucking sick ass
Sequel.
Yeah,
we're
like,
enforcing it. We're enforcing it via Fury and everything.
Yeah.
So it's that, or it's 500 years from now
Yeah.
there are no gods because they're all fucking imprisoned on trees.
Yeah, there's no gods
Oh,
that can find a way to
so
kill Furies.
or within
Yeah.
the next 500 years in their timeline, they're gonna find a way to keep their powers, and that's gonna be like a whole campaign arc, right? Is the gods were told they had to step down after 500 years, and that none of them want to, kind of deal. So it should be pretty exciting. It should be pretty exciting. What did Prime do? What did you guys do with your Greek gods?
I mean, we largely incorporated them as well with Hypatia as new boss of the gods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we
That's our Maya.
always welcomed him in.
Yeah, and
Lives
and
are
we I
super
think
familiar.
we tried to. Some of them I think went back to Hades.
Yeah, we
Actually,
passed along the word from Hades to them. Like they didn't
Yeah.
have to go, but they had the open.
Well, that's what Hades wanted.
I-
ultimately.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just remember the pretty one with her like plus 40 charisma.
The Moon
That one.
Maiden.
The Moon Lady?
The Moon
Oh.
Maiden. Yeah.
She completely lied to me.
I mean, she did love you. You know, I mean, in her way.
She's crazy.
She was a little crazy. Oh, look at Lord Stratus flexing. He never got to use the skin in the game. He never got to use the skin. Nobody ever wanted to fight him. Poor guy. Had to keep his Bishonen form the whole time.
I thought it was great. I almost killed the Huntress.
Yeah,
She got
when you
angry.
were 1v1 the Huntress in a friendly thing, I was like, damn, these guys could fucking kill all the Greek gods if they wanted to. Holy shit, they're strong. They're real strong. Some of them would have been tough. Like, the Mother of Sea and Sky had some pretty sick abilities going on. But, I mean, ultimately, I thought it was neat that I had these incredible stat blocks that I never had to run. And you know what? I'm okay with that, because they were pretty complicated stat blocks. But you guys never got to see the Fish King's ultimate move.
We don't need to see it.
Was it just endlessly
So he-
throwing
Yeah.
Trident's fish command from his beard at us?
No, he summons a Sharknado.
Oh, yo.
Oh, I thought it was
okay,
just.
that is pretty cool.
I thought it was
Yeah.
just
I feel like I
bragging
fought
that
a
he could
Sharknado.
swim.
Yeah.
I probably could have
Yeah.
talked down the
Yeah.
Sharknado though.
Look at that shit. Look at that shit.
Yeah,
Probably could have talked it
How
down.
cool it is.
Your
I
ability
actually
to talk
enjoyed
people down, like between you and Nessa, like you could like pacify anything.
Yeah, Julian was our fast talker, talking him down.
Yeah, having advantage to persuade the gods every time you talk to them and being a charisma character, that was pretty fucking good.
Yeah, it worked out.
Was the-
It worked out.
Oh,
was
what
the
about 20
greatest game of
squares?
20
Did you guys ever
squares,
have any
yeah.
impactful 20 squares
All
matches?
the time.
Oh god.
I don't know. We're set.
Wait, so you were anti-oath, but you were having these.
Well, no,
these
one person on our
impactful-
team was 20 squares.
That was played 20 squares.
Did you guys
Yeah.
ever go to the battle map for 20 squares?
Yeah.
I think we did once, yeah.
Yeah. Reset stayed behind on the island of time and practiced 20 squares for like 80 years or something. Was it something like that?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, we saw her there when we went.
Yeah. She was still
Yeah,
she was
yep.
still there. Man.
Pocket dimensions, man.
All
We had a
right.
couple of those.
So a question was asked earlier. Has everybody asked a question? Has everybody had a chance to ask a question? Because a question that was asked earlier was, what was the death that triggered your epic path free continue or whatever? Because everybody had an epic path free continue. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I can
Cerberus.
start.
Oh yeah. You,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Cerberus.
Yeah. I was the first one to die anyway in ours.
Yeah,
so,
I think so. Yeah.
No, I think Oren was.
Cerberus in the mines.
Oh.
Well, yeah, Oren, but you died all the fucking time. So you got eaten by wolves at like level 2.
Yeah, he was the
Yeah, we
first
did
one to
that.
get eaten by wolves.
I remember we played as the wolves
we played
too.
as the wolves.
Trying to usurp him. Yeah, Oren was he wasn't sure what was going on with him. He didn't realize that he was coming back from death. He woke up sole survivor with missing an arm, and then later on, as we were leaving the prophecy, we just received the prophecy, and he was leaving. Oren, well, we were escorting kids back. No, we were leaving Demetria, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because we were escorting the kids out. Yeah, so we were escorting kids back, and Oren had learned from Demetria, at least, that he had some sort of connection to Lutheria, and then every monster or thing we'd fought thus far had tried to kill Oren, and had like talked about how he was doomed. So he didn't really want to be in the same camp as a bunch of kids being transported back out of the Old Wood, where they'd heard multiple times that the Doom One shouldn't be. So at one point during the night, he snuck away into the woods to like kind of think, get alone with his thoughts, and to try and maybe contact Lutheria. And then a bunch of wolves showed up and ate him.
Yeah, that's when I sent that Cyclops after you. He was looking for you while everybody was sleeping.
Yeah,
then-
they had a doomed one in Prime who was Alexei, who had to drop pretty early on because of work stuff, and then that's when Estrella stepped in and took that spot, which we had kind of primed that already by mentioning Estrella's character a few times, because I had heard, sadly, like early on, that Alexei was like struggling with like work schedule and everything, and then Astreus was on the wait list basically to if a spot opened up. But in the short time that Alexei was with them, I think he was the first one to die.
Did he die like 3 times?
Yeah, he died a lot, but that was the point of the character, is that Lutheria
Yeah,
wanted,
lots of-
wanted them to die all the time, like was killing them all the time. All
So
right.
Oren woke up the next day missing an eye, and was like, "Oh,
Yes,
I think I get the
that's
idea."
why Andronicus didn't get targeted. It definitely wasn't that he was a terrible tank.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, and then your eye was spying on the party for Lutheria.
Yeah, that was the second time he died.
Yeah.
I think, to the Hydra or something.
It was a lot. Yeah, he died a lot. Yeah. What was Maya's death that
Maya's-
triggered her thing?
It was in the Lutheria temple in Mitros, fighting the two twins.
Yeah.
Scythe
I got
through the window.
scythed. I got scythed real hard. I think it was a mass. Yeah, it was like a massive crit. It took me below half my below my negative HP.
Oh, that whole fight was a clusterfuck anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was.
Yeah.
The cluster for us too.
Yeah. It was equally like just wild and rough for like both groups. I was kind of impressed. Especially since they
such a
had
tight
different
space in that
they had
map.
they had the same map and they had the same monsters, but they were using like Giphy rules. So I was kind of amazed that it still kind of played out the same, even though both groups were mechanically so different. But yeah, I do think it had a lot to do with just like it being in the middle of the city. It's the monster types that they gave you and the environment that you were fighting in, and yeah, it was. Oh,
We were spread out too.
Yeah, we went and split because we had the dinner party that Oren and Julian and maybe one other went to.
Yeah, I was a spider.
Yeah, mine
Yeah,
was
the three of
disguised
you,
as,
yeah.
as a spider.
That's right. So it was three. Yeah, three were at a dinner, and the others were in the fucking
basement
with the chimera.
Oh yeah, the Chimera and the.
We didn't really know what was going on there, so we wanted to split the twins off so that
Yep.
we could have some recon. And then we
yeah.
realized what was going on there. So then we had the top crew had to fight their way back to the bottom crew and meet in the middle.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Oh yeah, how many children did you guys save?
Oof.
Because like we saved so many.
The full room.
Yeah, all of them.
Prime.
Not the second
You don't.
room.
You don't have to answer this question if you don't want to. But...
I'm pretty sure we saved all the children because I remember.
I mean, there was at least one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, didn't we save?
There was that kid that was like,
Here's
I'm
the
pro
weird
Thylea.
You guys saved.
Yeah.
You guys saved most of the children for sure. Yeah.
Good news is
Yeah.
we didn't hear them dying.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
I mean-
still during our "We're the Good Guys" arc.
Oh.
Oh, that's when.
Oh, man, Julian's first death.
Yeah, Julian, what was your first death?
WWE wrestler.
Yeah, what was your first death, Julian? The one that triggered your epic revival.
That was me failing my insight check
Oh yeah.
on a beautiful woman who led me out into the middle of the fucking bay, stabbed me in the thigh with a poison dagger, wrapped me in chains, and dumped me off the side. And at that point, I was not spec'd for subtle spell
Yep.
as a sorcerer,
Man.
and I fucking drowned.
But listen to this though, like she was favored by Sidon after that. Just tell you, she was definitely
Yeah.
favored by Sidon after that.
I remember that was chaos.
Oh,
Trying to catch up to you and
I
find
mean,
you and yeah. I
I'm-
remember that shit.
I'm glad I was Spider on you at that time, because if we didn't, we would not have known.
Yeah.
That was the same time that we first recruited Brianna.
Brianna.
Yeah, that's where
so
we
you
met
were doing
Brianna.
that, and then Andronicus was talking to Brianna in the city still.
Yeah, we were hanging out. We were like, all right, Julian, he'll give us the signal.
Yeah,
You know,
because we were
whenever
like,
it's-
okay, we're gonna go do stuff in the city while Julian goes on a date.
Good
then
times, good times.
you went to you followed him to a second location, and
Never go to the second location.
Yeah.
All right, Andronicus, what was your death that triggered your first revival?
Yeah. So my first death was I drowned in shit in the troglodyte thing,
Oof.
but that didn't. I got revivified in time.
Yeah,
That didn't
I
trigger
think
that.
similar to Anastasia dying to the Manicore, you got revived before you needed to trigger your.
And then
okay.
let's see. I also died after being flayed alive and peeled apart by the false Hydra on Exile Island for
yeah.
like weeks. I eventually died from that, but then Orin saved me from Lutheria there, so I didn't use it then either.
I don't think Andronicus ever used one.
Yeah, he did.
I did
the
end
fate.
up using it because it took the power out of my diadem, and
Yeah.
I lost
Oh,
an
yeah.
amulet of health for a while.
Yeah.
But I can never remember what it was that
It
killed
was
me
the
that
fate.
night.
It was the fate when they took not the fate, whatever. When they
The
took
door guards, right?
Julian's-
Oh
yeah.
no, you know who it was? It was the Geigen of Fate.
The guy gonna
Oh,
fate.
yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, it was the guy
Yeah.
gonna fate.
I
We
got
were
a
fighting the.
Oh, that also
Picklesaurus.
killed Reset.
Kendrick
While
was
we were fighting the
Picklesaurus.
Picklesaurus.
Yeah.
This dude right here.
At one point, there was three.
Stole
Fucking
Julian's
stole my
axe too.
dude.
And then
Yeah,
he
there was
stole, and
three
then he
of us.
stole Xander's axe. Yeah, damn, what a bastard.
There was three of us, including the Geigen of Fate, in the stomach of the
In the stomach, in
Picklesaurus.
the
I remember
Picklesaurus.
that. It was very cramped.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. I think that's all the Mythic crew. Hypatia, you mentioned yours already. Your first death that triggered Damon coming to revive you.
Yep,
Yeah.
killed by Sidon
Yeah.
outside of Mitros.
A weather
For no
accident.
reason.
A weather accident, I've heard, but yeah.
Some say.
I died to massive damage while at full HP. That's all.
Cyrus, did you?
You're still bitter about this?
Did you trigger one that
I will never not be
that
bitter
caused
about
an epic revival, or
No.
no?
By the time the first time I died was at the showdown,
Uh huh.
and that was what let me.
Oh, and then Nessa took the hit for you. Yeah, shit.
Yeah.
So you
That
didn't
was the
actually
first
trigger
time I had
yours.
dies.
Yeah. Fuck. All right. Anna.
It was built different, damn.
I honestly don't think I triggered mine ever either. I think someone was always there to get me up.
Like to pop you up in time. All right. That's
Yeah,
good.
unless we're
in
unless I
in
can-
order to come back, one of the souls of your family that you carried around in your jewelry would have actually, burned itself out to bring you back.
Oh, I
so,
think you mentioned that afterwards.
Yeah,
Yeah, then I don't think it ever happened.
Yeah.
But except for Anna's like beginning backstory though. I
Mm.
think because Annis wasn't always a red siren. She was like a blue and green feathered siren to start,
Right.
and then kind of in the kind of backstory thing moment. That's when I met Soul, and I was reborn in a way.
It was
Yes.
Soul Bright. Oh my god.
Yeah, yeah,
Get over here, Soul. Take the sun with you. There you go.
Be
yeah.
awesome.
So
All
I
right.
guess we can count that in a way, but that was
Yeah.
like before the game started. But yeah, she
Alright.
saved me and I saved her.
Reset, was yours also the guy gonna fate? Was that the one?
I think I to the slime
Oh,
thing.
the
Slime
Slime
King.
King! Oh, man.
I was trying to run up the like a pillar,
Mm.
A failed acrobatics check. Oh my god.
and then the slime king killed me. I think that was the
This
first,
guy.
and then it used my necklace.
Oh man, don't get me started on failed acrobatics check.
So they in Mythic, they did not have Slime King. They had a plant Hydra. Instead
Oh,
of
this is
Slime
the
King.
Oh, God.
Demetrius temple.
Yeah,
or
it's
whatever.
Demetrius
Yeah.
Temple, like outdoor guardian. Yeah.
Hydras. Ugh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was tough.
That-
How did
that-
that
think I made that
Demetrius
many.
thing, turn out for you?
I didn't think I still had this guy in Foundry. It might
Yeah,
ju-
we made an oath.
it might just be a
Demetria.
placeholder. Oh, he's just a placeholder. Okay. All right.
I think the gist of our oath with Demetria was for a year and a day she'd stop doing what she's doing, release all the kids, and in exchange we would return the soul of Dianthus and
Yeah.
spread the truth about Xander. Esther, yeah.
You promised
we didn't know about-
you would slander Esther any chance
Yeah.
you had, and you
Oh,
would,
and we did.
and you would
Even when people were like, Esther's the best, we were like, no, fuck
Nope,
him.
Yeah.
he sucks.
and you would refute any claims that Esther was a hero, etc., etc., etc. Yeah.
Which is pretty
We,
easy.
we
to
didn't
do,
know
'cause he
about the
was,
sister
pretty,
at the time, and being in the ship and returning it.
Mm,
Oh, okay, so we didn't know. Okay.
So we just promised to slander Esther.
yeah.
That's it. She let us off. Damn.
No, I thought we knew about the tree because the tree got chopped down, and we were talking about.
Yeah, we knew about
Yeah.
the tree, but we didn't. I don't think we knew about the extent of it, her soul being inside the ship. We knew that
Oh, that's fair.
it was
that's fair,
being
yeah.
used
Okay.
to make the ship. We just
Yeah,
didn't
you,
know
you guys
about the whole
added you
soul.
guys added that one on for free. Mostly, Demetria was just impressed that Sibo had sat down to cannibal dinner with her, like a civilized person.
That was a problem for a while.
Yeah, yeah, that did cause some tension in the
We
group.
worked it out though. We
That
worked it out.
dungeon, that
Julian-
dungeon
Julian
caused.
does this thing like, why did you eat people, Sivo? Why did you
He's
break
like-
the scythe and unleash untold horrors upon the universe?
He was like, "It's the
Andronicus?"
culture.
Oh, he did
it's
that
the
too, huh?
culture." He did it for the vine.
All right, so in everyone's defense, that Demetria dungeon had all of the problematic content that Greek mythology would promise and more. It was rough. It was rough. I mean, you had teenage orgies under the influence after being kidnapped. You had teenage girls getting impregnated with goat babies after cannibal feasts that turned them into fey monsters. You had a
I
really
think I almost threw up when you started explaining that stuff. Like,
yeah, it was horrible. It was really bad. And your guys' group, it was rough. You know what I'm saying? Because like you wanted to kill the maenads and the baby goats, but also like killing babies, and how could we put in a situation, and then like the kids were kidnapped and turned into monsters after a cannibal feast, and like it was horrible. It was horrible. And then the things
That
that
was
the
used
things
as a
that
tool
and
to
then
slander us afterwards.
and then finding out what had happened to Demetria's sister, like with
Dianthus,
Esther and
yeah.
everything. Yeah, Dianthus and all that. It was really bad. Like, and then later when you get the vision from Dianthus of what happened, like, whew. Yeah, that was a real bad one.
And then flip over to Mythic, and Sibo's like, "How did you season this? This is
Oh
really
my
good."
God.
Oh my god. Here's the plant hire, but that's the wrong token if that's the same one you use. Because I used it
What's-
for my
no,
Christmas one.
Same
shot.
Hydra,
It was
different
that.
token.
It's the same
Oh, it's the
Hydra,
same token?
but it's the same art. It just had the heads outside on separate.
Yeah, I had that too. But
That was
I
tricky
think,
'cause
I
we had
think
to
there
not,
was a different one for.
No, I remember this one because
Okay.
it grabbed me and I almost got ripped to shreds by it.
Yeah. And
Every
then we
single
pull-
every single
Oh,
time
yeah,
we went
yeah,
into a
yeah.
Hydra, every single time we went into a Hydra, Maya got grabbed by multiple heads, And
you guys did
almost
fight
every-
a lot of hydras. You guys did fight a lot of hydras.
How many statues of Sidon did we pull on top of hydras though? Like wasn't there like
I think
At least
two.
One?
Yeah, 2.
Alright.
Wow.
There's a trend. Like there's a fucking
Alright.
statue nearby. You know what to do. Get the fucking rope.
So,
Let's go.
Phil, are you willing to talk about the death that triggered your?
No, yeah. I know it happened when we were breaking into the vault, right?
Yes.
I forget what we were fighting.
Yeah.
You were fighting the vault Cerberus. Yeah.
Yeah. Phil. The first time Phil died was Tower of Praxis, like pretty much at the top, and Pythor broke through the wall of the adamantine tower, which we were told was not able to be broken.
Unbreakable,
It's-
yeah.
it's unbreakable, but it's Pythor, and that's when
And
he
you're his
gave-
son.
That's
My
when he
boy.
gave Phil his spark.
Oh yeah, to keep you alive. Yeah, that was really
Yeah.
heartfelt.
Dang,
and then-
opening the wall, burn him out.
Wait,
He-
did,
Yeah, he,
did,
burned,
Lead
he
man.
burned out the spark of valor and strength to basically punch his way through the walls of Praxis to get to his son, but he didn't get there in time, and Phil died, and so he burned out the rest of his spark and gave it to Phil, and then the Fury Stride, came from like a
That's
day
hardcore.
later or whatever on the ship, and
Oh,
yeah.
damn.
It was really sad, and what was really sad is at the same time in the Mythic timeline, you guys were having your best arc with Pythor, yeah. So one day a week I'm feeling like garbage because of what happened to Pythor, and then the other day of the week I have to be like this happy, cheerful Pythor who hasn't been killed and given up, and dragged down to a tree, and also it was terrible. It was terrible. It was a real, it was rough. It was a rough scene and a rough aftermath from that, and it did plant the seeds that radicalized Phil against all the gods, which is what the BBEG of the campaign needed the most. So it did actually work out pretty well. But yeah, oh man. All right, that's everybody's death? Somebody in chat, Dented Pockets, said, do any of your characters or players still have fear of elevators?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is nothing good comes out of an elevator in a TTRPG. Elevators are only ever used as a mechanic for horrible things. No person is designing a TTRPG map and it's like, let's just put an elevator in just for fun. That doesn't happen. They use stairs for
in
that.
Outlaws, we had we had a couple of elevators and they were fine. We had a couple.
I don't believe it.
Maybe it's because
Do you know how hard it was for me to go into those elevators?
They were not accessible whatsoever.
The worst
With
part
an
was getting pulled in the elevator by my party when I have wings, guys. I could just fly down. I'll just meet you there. It's cool. And then into the hut
Oh my god!
with Kyra.
It was
There
rough.
was that elevator in Cyberpunk. You guys got in an elevator too, and
Yeah,
it wasn't good.
elevator's always horrible.
Elevators-
I knew getting into the Cyberpunk one for sure. I was like, all right, yeah, fuck it, we ball.
That was definitely a rough ass
Crap.
trap,
Yeah.
and then it just dumps you right in front of the Cerberus afterwards.
Yeah,
Oh
which
my
is why I died. I
God.
took so much damage in the
so
elevator.
much damage in the elevator.
I couldn't heal I healed everybody else, couldn't heal myself, and then shit on my boat.
Yeah, Kyra had to jump in, and then she had to run away for a while.
Yep.
And then we got Susan.
Yep.
Susan Pickleman.
Oh my goodness.
Nice.
But then that's when we found Philippithres, and he almost jumped in the lava, but flew over and saved him before he jumped because he was a dumb baby.
Yeah. Well, a big boy in that picture, but yeah. Oh man.
I got a question. Does anybody have any? Does each character have a meme for themselves, something that has been that has happened since the beginning or at some point has just followed you through the entire campaign?
Failing to push somebody in a volcano.
Oh, bro, you don't have to bring it up. It's fine. It's fine. That was rough, though.
I mean, some of us are good at pushing people
Yeah,
into volcanoes.
it's the only time Andronicus didn't crit fail the entire time.
Their fire.
Andronicus at a fire island.
Yeah.
He was a god.
The fire islands in the two games were complete opposites. These guys,
Truly.
Mythic struggled with a lot of the content. I'm gonna just put it out there, guys. You guys, there was a lot of stuff. There was a lot of stuff that was pretty tough for you guys. That these guys were just it's fine. But Fire Island, it was like you guys were just it was your time. Fire Island
Julian
time.
gave this badass impassioned speech as a prophet.
Yeah, that was such a good speech from Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Andronicus comes in and just cleans him up.
And then we had Angry Cyber plotting to kill Andronicus.
Patricide, Matricide, Andronicus has it all.
I feel like
The rest of the campaign.
Reset's meme was definitely the 20 squares addiction for sure. I feel like that was. And Reset like defined Aresia. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah. Like you did so good with that. And what's crazy is like I took cues from how you played Reset based on the cues, you know, the guidelines that the adventurer and I gave you, but then you actually playing it influenced how I ran it, which then influenced like so many other games and how Aresia was run and presented and all that. Like you were the prime Aresian that like kind of spawned all the other Aresias. I think it was fantastic. Yeah, it was really good. It was really well done. And then that was kind of neat by the end of the campaign that you would sort of set that down, you know what I mean? Your cultural baggage, I guess, to kind of explore being more than that, which was really cool.
I remember meeting Reset's parents and that being a very
Oh man.
The museum.
And we were all like,
oh yeah, the museum
now we
too,
get
that
it.
was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think
the Museum of Paintings where all Aresians went to cry.
Yeah, the only place you're allowed to cry in Aresia is in this museum. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Oh man. I mean, Phil, I think Phil's meme was definitely he was like the Captain Kirk kind of character, like he, you know,
Failing up.
yeah, where there's a hole, there's a way kind of deal. Yeah, with Philippocles. So it was, but that wasn't all there was to the character. But that's definitely if I was like to say there's a meme of the character, that would be the meme. So Hypatia definitely had that sort of like that very like push the glasses up, light goes across it, like the most respected character because of their intelligence on the anime kind of character, where you were always like waiting to see some sort of emotional vulnerability or some sort of like stepping down from being so like erudite kind of thing, but you just always kind of could rely on them to take that very like highest education route. I don't know. I feel like you did a good job of kind of sticking to that. Pretty much the whole campaign. Like it was
The nerdiest of nerds.
Yeah. It was very cool. It's very cool. Anna was definitely like the den mother. You know what I'm saying? Like,
do we want to invite
also the animals, talking to every animal in the campaign.
Oh, do we want to invite
The Divinity Run.
I'm sorry, I was talking to my
What
roommate.
happened?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, Cyrus did have the trope of the soft-hearted, monstrous character that loved monsters. I mean, that was definitely a memeable thing. Like, they found one of the only trolls in the world, and he befriended them, and you know, like just any opportunity. I mean, you founded an entire nation for monsters. So that they could have a sort of unified place to try and, you know, have a society. So it was good. It was good. Yeah. So I liked it. I know where you're going with this, Dom, because Maya, anytime she succeeded at a cost, and this group succeeded at a cost for any reason, they didn't tie their shoes right. They succeeded at cost.
I'm not tying those again.
but Maya was a lot more restrained about it. Because every time, this is 20 different results that Maya would try to succeed at a cost, she would do a shitload of damage to herself. And it was always, we always kind of, well, at first we said it's because you like hit your head or whatever, and then...
No, because every single time, the first time it happened is because I was doing an acrobatics check, and the second time it happened was because I was doing an athletics check to like climb over something.
Yeah,
and then
yeah. And we just kept saying it was your head, and then... What was really funny about that was by the end of the campaign, with everything broken and the weave of magic broken and wild magic, you got a wild magic surge. about that made your head invincible? Is that what it was? What was the?
As long as you were wearing a helmet.
I'll post it.
Yeah, and there was 10,000 possible results, and it still ended up. Yeah, your head is protected as if you always have a helmet on, and it was just like the whole
She's
campaign.
unstoppable.
The whole campaign, we would joke around with Maya, like before she rolled sack, like, "Do you have your helmet on?" And then to get that as a 1 in 10,000 wild magic surge was just, yeah, it was very fun. So, all right. Man, any other? I'm looking through chat. I don't see any questions in chat. Everybody's just talking about how cool you guys are.
I mean, the name for Oren was Rogue.
To start, yeah. It was a mix. Well, because so we had this party here that was ready, that wasn't necessarily designed for the challenges we had to face. And so a lot of the early game scenarios where we needed to defeat or outnumbered or outgunned. A lot of the scenarios involved using rope or other ways to set up. Setting up trap, dropping a roof on the Hydra using rope, or collapsing the tunnel that had all the basilisks in it, dropping a statue on another Hydra, various things like that. And so the rope was always close by. It was something that you can always use and you can kind of rely on to get something done. Tying ourselves together on the bridge crossing from the Yetis, going in.
Like Fred from Scooby-Doo?
Yeah, pretty much. Always had it.
I feel like Siba went through like a couple of different memes, but like the one that kept coming back was the dad and the dad fear.
Oh yeah.
And did avoiding objectives because the dad might be there.
Yeah. I mean, admittedly, when they finally met your dad, everyone understood. But
yeah. Also, not sad about that tower going down either.
Oh, don't worry. In this timeline, your dad's still alive. So
on the wall.
Yeah. But your son isn't alive in this timeline. The one that you birthed out of your butthole. So.
Oh man.
Yeah, two actually.
But who eats cake that just gets left out in the nether seas? That's the question.
Oh, that was awful.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, it was real bad. It was real bad. It was real bad for Prime because Bullbug ate the cake, and then he had Bullbug 2, where we replaced the L's in his name with 2 capital I's, for Bullbug 2, and then they were the best friends in the entire world. But then Lutheria turned second Bullbug into a monster during the Battle of Mitros, and it wasn't well received. Let's just say that it wasn't well received. Yeah. I didn't get to turn your son into a hideous monster because we didn't make it that far into the Battle of Mitros before shit went completely off the rails. So,
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
You had a lot of wild magic surges, Maya, that Crash sent me.
Yeah. Oh, another. Another meme was probably how forgettable the 2 haunted ones were. I think we went harder on it with Andronicos than we did with Anastasia.
So many A names.
Yeah,
I had a short list that I was working my way through of A names.
Yeah.
At the beginning.
But that led to one of I think the coolest scenes in the game, which was when we did that cut to past Oren and Lutheria, and then Lutheria actually said Andronicos' name right, and then we ended the session.
That was so good.
Fuck, that
was. Because for 3.5 years, she never got his name right, and then in that moment, she got the name right, and it was like, oh no. Yeah. Okay. Scarlett, did you have a question before everybody? Before I go to chat, it sounded like you had. A question. Okay,
I was gonna ask if they ended up with a shit ton of dragon kids.
Oh, that put on a concert.
The babies.
A scandalous concert. They had a normal amount of babies. They had their own Sire of the Brass, and he really gave it to them. Their Sire of the Brass really. He
very much disliked me after I threw his dad into the volcano.
And his mom.
And his mom, yeah.
Yeah, and his mom.
And he took away his kingdom, and you made him watch your kids for you. Didn't pay him. In Prime, they had the extra egg that you can find. There were a lot of eggs in the campaign to discover. I don't think I don't think all the eggs were discovered by either group, but
Well, we found the last one, which ended up being Saphira.
yeah, who was adorable. They had Julian had Cadmus, who was adorable. Julian did not want anything to happen to this guy, so he just didn't go into battle very much. He just, he hung out on the boat, that sort of thing. But they did not deal with the fates. So in their original timeline, their dragon babies for the Battle of Mitros all got horribly mutated. But in order to keep the babies safe, they left them at Skyhold. And so the dragons went on a murder spree and killed everybody in Skyhold. So it was.
Oh no.
Yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't great. But hey, that timeline got erased, so it's
No
fine.
need to worry about that.
Yeah. And then Andronikos at first was taking his dragon baby everywhere, and I think people started to kind of guilt him into like, you can't make a baby fight. Like, this is nuts. But it took a while for Andronikos to stop bringing.
I would bring Callius places with us, and then I would leave Callius at the edge of the map so that nothing happened. And then so it's like, at this point, no, we're just. And then they tried to like charm her and use her against us, and so it was like, okay, no, she's just gonna stay on the ship too. That was at about the time we got Cadmus, so then she got to stay on the ship, but with other dragons.
Yeah, but I think that was it. I think you just had the two babies plus Cyver, and then Cyver pretty much took both of them under his wing and was a very bad influence on them. They had an entire session, Hypatia, where they had to deal with Cyver being a bad influence on the two younger dragons, and Cyver really, like, he was shouting at him, like, when you stepped out, I stepped up, and like, it was a real, like, after-school special episode about family and found family, and oh man, it was a lot. It was a lot.
I feel like Andronicus' a pseudo dragon should get an honorable mention.
Elpis!
Elpis, yeah, exactly. That guy, he went through a lot.
Elpis,
he was like the OG.
He was the MVP.
Yeah, he was like the OG dragon, then he got pushed aside for.
Yeah, the familiars were great in the games.
Yeah, I mean, they did some heavy lifting for sure. Well, Soul did some heavy lifting for sure.
Yeah, it came to the point where I just never wanted them to get hurt or anything, so I would probably never summon them in battle because they were very, very important to me. So I was like, gosh, I don't want them to die in anything. But
I mean,
Orin had the right idea with the chariot. If it's an inanimate object, it's okay. You can.
Whoa!
I mean,
what are you saying?
I don't think he really felt that way when it got destroyed in that one fight. But I mean,
For the greater good.
It's not nearly as bad.
That brings up a question I had. Did any of the characters actually go full on become Dragonlords as described in what the campaign envisions for the characters?
I think Corinna.
Besides just riding the Go Dragons, I think Corinna in both games, went on to.
Yeah.
Alternate.
Like
Julian did.
Oh yeah, alternate timeline Julian did. Yes.
Yeah.
Because all of his friends just vanish.
Well, and that was the thing, is they get into the final battle, and I'm like, so you have these dragon mounts, and here's how the dragon mounts work and all that, and they're like, but you're saying if we send the dragons off on their own, more civilians might be saved? And I'm like, well, yeah, but these dragons can fly, and they're like, and I'm like, well, you might want to be able to fly here in high level D&D, and they're like, but you said more civilians might be saved, and I'm like, I did say that, and they're like, all right, no one's riding any dragons today. And I was like, oh, okay.
I think when we fought Kentamane.
Hmm?
Guys fought Kentamane?
Oh,
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
He showed up right after we beat up Sidon.
Yeah, he shows up.
Yeah, he is technically the final boss of
He
the
was
campaign.
he was the secret boss after you think you won. It's like,
Yeah, he's the JRPG. You're like, oh, you thought that was the end, boss? If you beat Sidon, He shows up and is.
Why is there still boss music?
Yeah, he shows up and he wants to test you because if you're strong, then that makes sense why you killed Sidon. But if you're not strong, then that doesn't make sense, and
You get absorbed.
And you get absorbed. Yeah, that's that. So you have to fight him to bloodied, I think, before he is like, okay. I guess
Checks out.
I guess you're strong enough to have killed my favorite.
I gotta hand it to you.
He had some pretty sick stuff. That's also when we learned that repelling blast has no size restrictions. So Anastasia was literally moving a mountain with her repelling blast.
I mean, very effective, but true. Yeah,
His mini was so big that it would take Foundry
What's the battle map?
some time to move his miniature because it would be like, I'm trying my best, but this is literally the map. So
He was
hold
the
on.
battle map.
Yeah. But yeah. Yeah, so they had a few baby dragons. It wasn't a ton of baby dragons. I did like when all of you turned into babies though. That was good.
That was
I liked
fun.
I liked all the babies.
Yeah, it was fun making those minis.
A good question that I saw in chat from Cryptic Muffin, and this is sort of a tricky question, right? This is a tricky question. Who was your favorite villain?
Julian.
What?
Yeah, in his killing innocents in the Temple of Helios.
Yes,
arc.
yeah.
Oh man.
Oh man. Mine was Sibo in his eating people arc.
Yeah, Lotus would definitely sympathize with Julian with the non-lethal magic.
If it makes you feel better, Julian, that I'm pretty sure that temple got rocked by Prime. Did you guys put in some work on that temple in the Frosty Mountains? The fake Helios temple?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember that.
All I remember is I got charmed immediately when I was supposed to go up and like dissuade them from doing whatever they were doing.
Really remember.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I was able to do some broke ass shit again.
Yeah, it was the summer
Yeah.
wind. It was the
Well, I
summer
think that was the
wind.
sleeping
Yeah.
draught. I think that's when you use sleeping draught.
Yeah, I think I might have used that
That
again.
might have been the fight where we were like,
No,
oh.
that was the troglodyte.
Oh,
Because
okay,
I put
okay.
the
The Trog
troglodyte
King,
thing
yeah.
to sleep.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, in ours we double hypnotic patterned.
That was great.
Videos. And Julian and I immediately got rid of those spells. The way
Crash checked out.
I mean, all right. So I might have turned on the Catholic Guild. I might have been like, listen, it's not. I'm not gonna stop you from taking the spell, and I'm not gonna stop you from casting the spell. But I want you to think about spending the next 2 or 3 years having every fight be what you just had.
Yeah.
And they were just like, oh well. But
then later on, we're getting our ass kicked, and Crash was like, "Don't you guys have hypnotic pattern?"
I was like, okay, well that's cool. They decided not to use it. I didn't know you guys went into the fucking deleted it off your sheets.
Completely
I was
flipped it
like,
out.
because when things were getting real bad, I was like, well, I mean, this is when you would use hypnotic pattern. Like obviously.
Nope. Yep. They both swore it off after
that. I was like, there's a time and a place, you know, like you're only cheating yourself. ... You're like, nah, we deleted it. I was like, oh,
I smoked cigarettes one time, and my mom got on to me about it. I never smoked them again.
Just made you smoke the whole pack at once.
Yeah. Yep.
Teach you a lesson. Oh man. All right. Well, anybody on Prime got a favorite villain from the campaign?
I enjoyed the Furies.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd technically call them a villain, but I enjoyed fighting the Furies. I thought they were good characters. I liked the Furies.
I feel like anyone that's opposed to the heroes is technically a villain. Anyone that's opposed to the hero's agenda is a villain. Yeah. I liked the fight against the Furies because they were so meta. They were so meta. With the whole like
the rules.
Their layer action was they could just make up any rule they wanted and it applied to the game, and if you did it, like, you got fucked up real bad, and they started to get more and more desperate during the fight, and so the first.
I remember one of the rules was no more whales.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, yeah, bastard. But I remember the last one was so impactful and so thematic and so. I mean,
oh yes.
The last one. No mercy.
No mercy.
And I didn't want to kill them.
Oh man, it was so good. I love when something like meta still ends up being like in game, like serious and in impactful.
True.
Like it's like some of my favorite stuff. Anyone else a favorite villain for the campaign?
Yeah. Are we talking about villain or villain fight?
Fight?
Whatever, like whatever comes to mind.
Because if we're going fight, then the fight in Thylea's head.
Oh,
That was
okay.
amazing.
Yeah,
when,
against
when
Kronos.
Kronos started eating the other wives, and we're like, "Fuck, we gotta get this guy."
Yeah, damn.
I mean, Kronos in general is a great villain.
Yeah.
The ultimate misogynist.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to I don't know if it was my favorite villain, but it definitely was a very memorable fight. Was the fight against Prometheus, and when you started playing the music, I freaked out. I was like, "Holy shit! This is gonna be rough," and it was.
It was a rough ass fight. It was a rough ass fight. Would you believe that in Mythic, when they got to Prometheus, here's a few things. One, this guy, that was his warlock patron, was Prometheus. And then two, they had actually gotten, they didn't ask them to, but they had gotten Vulcan involved in their bullshit. And then Vulcan was like, things are so effed in the A right now that, you know what? Just fuck it, let's do it. So he got the other dragon gods. They turned back into dragons before the end of the oath, helped the party fight Scylla, and then they were gonna help fight Prometheus, but then they basically asked if Valis could use the wisdom or whatever, and like just do something to try and like calm Prometheus' shit down. And the combination of there being his warlock was there, and then the god of wisdom was there, and she kind of like burnt out her spark to like cure his madness, and so they actually ended up having
and then Julian had an advantage persuasion, like trying to talk him down too.
Yeah, and they got like a 36 or 38 or something to be like, like, hey, keep it cool, man. We're not the bad guys here. But I did ask them before they went down that round. I said, listen, Prime told me that this was the hardest / coolest boss fight of the entire campaign. You sure you want to miss out on this? And they're like, yeah, we're okay with that. That's fine. So yeah,
that's fine. I thought Sibo's patron was Scotric, the patron saint of Mythic. Shout out to Scotric.
Oh, for sure.
We did bring in Scotric as an extra planar advisor for how to teach Midas to be generous.
The god of generosity.
Skipping the Prometheus fight, that's fine though. Not everyone needs to fight a guy that has 40 AC. It's okay.
What I liked
it's a good
about
thing I dropped Versi.
Right. What I liked about the Prometheus fight was the escalation of it, because he was boiling the ocean, and then his ability was it would strip your immunity to fire, strip your resistance to fire, then give you vulnerability to fire, and then give you like super vulnerability to fire. And so you just knew that like you had to beat him, but he could shift between like an offensive form that just did shitloads of damage, but then he could also close all like 7 of his wings up and turn into like a metal ball that had like a 40 armor class. It was.
I think we only got
bananas.
past that because I had that one ability that bypassed armor.
Yeah, and he had high resistance too, and so you had an ability to ignore resistance, and then
that was it.
And then you had spec for crits, and that from that part. And then, like, I'd say for a solid month, you had the best rolls I've ever seen you have, ever, in the time.
Cyrus won that fight for sure.
Yeah, like, you just were, like, crit, like, that was, like, when you were just critting everything all the time, and it was, like, so well-earned. Like, it was just, like, after all this time.
That's that point, like, 17 higher was critting for me?
Yeah, and, like, crit gets through a 40 armor class, so you were able to get through and then deal actual damage, and, yeah, but it was crazy. It was crazy.
And, of course, being a fighter in that high level, you got so many attacks. That was...
I think it was also giving out exhaustion every time we failed those saves. So it was definitely just a ticking climb clock. We only got like 3 rounds to get this guy or we're done.
Yeah, yeah. And you guys were playing with traditional exhaustion too, which which will kill you faster than the 10 stack exhaustion. Yeah, it was rough. It was rough. Anybody else have a favorite villain or villain fight?
I can't remember who we were fighting.
Mm-hmm.
But there was one fight where I think I was like dominated, or I was under control.
Yeah.
And I ended up killing Hypatia, who then had Chandras take the hit.
Oh, was that in the Underworld arena?
I think it was in the Underworld. I think it was like Thylea.
No, it was the Ghost Dragon. Hezebal. Yeah, Hezebal the Ghost Dragon.
Yeah,
the bloody
yeah,
triangle
it
or
was.
the diadem or something.
Yeah,
bloody
yeah.
glass pyramid.
Yeah, yeah, and we were able to revivify Chandras the one time.
Yeah.
And then Lutheria wouldn't let me have him back the second time, and I went a little off the deep end.
Yeah, because she wanted you just to stay angry. She wanted you to stay angry. Oh man, yeah, that was a cool fight. And then they had you and Phil slugging it out, and everybody's like, "What the fuck are we gonna do?" And it was
so crazy. That was 20 rounds of us just. Well, I don't die. Well, you don't die. Well,
yeah, it was.
Yeah, because that was when I had the Lutheria blessing.
Yeah, which brings me to my favorite villain, Lutheria Reset.
Oh, Lutheria Reset. Oh man, yeah, that there was so much potential there. There's so much potential there. Oh man.
Man, I had so many abilities.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had 2 subclasses.
I needed multiple subclasses.
Yeah, Evil like to do that. They like to really keep you well compensated for your soul. You know what I'm saying? You lose out on a lot of things when you're evil. But man, do you get a lot of prizes though? You do get a lot of prizes. Alright, any other favorite bosses, villains, etc.?
I'm trying
the Golden Ram was kind of funny.
The Golden Ram? Oh, man. Well,
because I remember
that
when
was just embarrassing.
It was a play fight. I remember having to tank that guy. I think he killed me, but it wasn't like for reals. It was just we wanted the apple or something.
All right. So
wait a minute.
So listen. You guys had the Golden Ram at the beginning of the game, and you guys were like, "Yeah, bitch, we'll fight." And he was very strong because he's he's a celestial beast. He's not some pig in the woods. He's like a big deal. And then these guys who are sometimes we forget and we kill everyone, but most of the time we're gonna be better than before. And so they meet the Golden Ram and they're like, "Listen, homie, we're out to be good guys and do good stuff." And he's like, "I'm listening." And Julian's like, "I have advantage to everything that involves gods, so I'm gonna tell you what's up." And he's like, "I'm listening to what's up, son." And then at the end they're like, "Would you go and would you bring this person's tree back to life who died?" And and then he's like, "Oh, that's the sweetest thing in the world." Sure. So they have this really nice interaction. But these guys went to the Isle of Gold, where there was a different Golden Ram, the tarnished Golden Ram, and it was bad. It was real bad. It was like what you guys dealt with, but at level 9 or 10.
With quicksand.
With quicksand and chain lightnings, and it was rough. He beat the shit out of them. This tarnished ram. What was the tarnished ram's name again? It was it wasn't Greg. It was something.
Greg.
Was it Greg?
That does bring up a good question. Did any of Mythic have an apple addiction?
Julian was trying to get one.
Kyra had one for sure. I don't think Julian ever. Did you ever partake of apples? I don't think you ever developed the addiction.
There was a brief 30-second interval where we really wanted one.
Yeah, I think that. But
Discord.
that did lead to a nice scene towards the end where when they're in New Olympus. Before the fight started, Moon Maiden sort of takes out a golden apple from her robes, and it gets real tense with the gold apple out, and Julian's trying to focus, but all the god blood in him is like nostrils flaring. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I had the legendary resistance that save.
Yeah.
Because
you were also a god at the time. Yeah, and that you failed your save initially because she has a fucking high saving throw against her abilities. What does she got? A DC 27 against all her stuff. So yeah. Oh man. Thank you, Shadow Foxtail. My favorite boss of both campaigns was the true boss of both campaigns, which was Generational Trauma. That was my favorite boss of both.
Man.
I feel like every issue, every problem, just boiled down to bad parenting. Is essentially what it came down to. But I thought it was very neat that everybody, like all the major NPCs, were fucked up because of bad parenting. Whether they were the good guys or the bad guys, or perceived as the good guys or perceived as the bad guys, they were all completely screwed up because of bad parenting. I thought that was kind of neat. It was kind of neat.
Favorite villain? I would say in Mythic, probably Moral Conjurer.
True. The moral quandary.
Moral quandary was
We
definitely
almost-
your weakness. Yeah.
We almost didn't get the gear from Xander's tomb
Yeah.
because of that moral quandary.
You almost didn't get to level 20 because of Moral Quandaries.
True.
All right.
But I guess maybe like sort of a fight. I
Sand
think. Yeah.
Which one? Which one?
Damn it.
Sand Hydra.
Sand Hydra?
Yeesh.
Oh man.
Well, that
Yeesh.
was easy. What are you guys talking about?
Mm.
Man, I was playing a charisma bard. I was playing a out of combat focused bard cleric multi-class against this fucking. I was stuck in a rock in the middle of the sand pit for probably like 3 sessions.
Well, I don't know if I told you guys this or not, but Cyrus took that thing out in a very, very risky,
shot.
very risky.
Well, that was a
very-
coin flip.
Yeah. So they saw right away. They were like, "This shit is rough," and so Cyrus had stolen Sands of Time from the Lotus Witch's tower, and he's always looking for something to do with them. And he's like, "I'm gonna throw one at it," and I was like, "Okay, 50% chance that it turns into a little baby." 50% chance it turns into the most ancient and powerful Hydra it possibly can. And then everyone's like, "Ugh!" And I'm like, and you've got to make the roll. And everyone's like, "Ugh!" And like, I'm sitting here already like pimping its stats. I'm like, well, we'll give it a 44 strength, and let's see.
Start the apocalypse early
Yeah,
here.
I guess we'll kick that Constitution up to 44. And then like I look over and he rolls it, and it was like, baby. And I was like, holy shit. Okay. And so it went wow, 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 and then they stepped on it.
Oh no!
No, I think the sword.
Oh
sword
no, yeah,
burst out of
it
it.
turned
Yeah.
into a baby, right? And then the sword, like tore out of it, and it just died. Oh my god, that's right. Yeah, the Titan's Bane.
Then I ate its soul.
Oh, and then you ate its soul. You gained a new ability. Man, yeah, the Fanged Hydra Themis. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Do you guys have any questions for me or for each other in this shared experience?
How did you guys deal with each of the Koopa kids?
Ooh.
Sidon and Lutheria's kids, the Titans,
Okay.
Titanborn.
I married one of them.
Yeah,
Wait,
Yala.
which one?
He married Yala.
Yeah.
Nice.
And Talius, I think we sent away to like go be a pirate or something.
Nice.
That's similar.
Winning
Similar to what
winning in both timelines. Hell yeah.
he really made out like well. Yeah, he was
I
hanging
think
out.
we killed
Yeah.
Hergaron at Mitros,
Oh,
Battle of
you
Mitros.
shit. Yeah, that was one of the roughest fights.
Double Meteor Swarm.
Yeah.
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 Start.
And we killed Galaron in Praxis.
At Praxis, yeah.
Yeah.
Halcyon teleported out though. I don't
got her later.
You guys killed her at.
We had to fight her at Praxis.
Yeah.
We fought her at Praxis. I think she. Well, we fought her in the time weirdness that we did to take care of the Myrmidons.
Right.
We killed her then.
Yeah. So you did. She
But-
escaped the first time, and then you did kill her the second time.
Didn't we kill her in her bedroom, or did we kill her in the bedroom?
We went to her
I don't
bedroom, then
remember.
she
We went to her
teleported
bedroom.
out.
Yeah,
I remember that.
she got
Oh
away.
yeah, she had her Chad harem. Yeah, that's right. Mythic never got to see her Chad harem. She just had a room full of these dudes. Yeah.
Exquisite taste.
Oh man. Whew. Let's see. Was that all the Koopa kids? I think that was all the bad guy Koopa kids. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What did you guys end up doing with your Koopa kids?
We made I think Galaran is now the
Well, he
Domain of
got
Graves.
in Grave, and
yeah,
so
he-
he's keeping
let me
Grave
get
under
Grave.
supervision.
Yeah.
Y'all got Domain of Valor.
Yeah, y'all got Domain of Valor.
Halsey
got to
got
live.
arrested by the time cops.
Yeah,
Yep.
House got arrested by the time cops. Pergeron, he doesn't have any sparks, but he now is like the leader of New Praxis.
Yeah, and then
Thalia's got to go chill.
Yeah, it's
Alias
just
is
a
has
pirate, I guess.
no, he's hanging out with the Revelry, Divine Revelry.
Oh, that's right. He's interning with the Divine
Rum.
Revelry. Okay.
I think we gave him rum.
Domain of
Nice.
Rome.
Yeah, I think Thalia's got his mom's pleasure barge and ours.
Nice. All right.
I mean, her.
Oh.
Oh.
I
was gonna say Hergeron was-
Yeah. Keep going.
I was gonna say Hergeron was pretty much like our recurring villain for our group.
Yeah,
And we
pussy
ran into him
flying up
a
in the sky.
couple
trying to
times.
find him.
No, we were so upset with him. We had a close call of trying to kill him when we got to what is it what's the
A few times. Yeah, I mean, you guys fought him in the arena twice. You fought him in 2 different arena matches. You went to Yonder.
It was Yonder. Yeah, we almost killed him in Yonder.
Yeah.
He got so close, but he what you call it, mentioned door it out of there.
Yeah.
Our reoccurring villain was definitely Hypatia's ex-fiance.
Gaius.
Guys.
Yeah, Gaius.
So many times.
Yeah.
Oh, so Phil, you're gonna like this in Mythic, because of a wild magic surge at the end of the campaign. Gaius and Honora got married.
Gaius?
Yep.
Oh no.
You know the guy that tried to sacrifice her on the rock.
Yeah,
of
I
Esther?
know,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I think we wouldn't sorted that out though.
That's the worst timeline. Mythic is the worst timeline.
The wild surge.
We
the
wouldn't
wild
fix-
surge. The wild surge was what was it? A noble close to the caster, marries or falls in love with someone the caster dislikes or something like that, and I was just like, wow, okay. I mean,
I think
yeah.
we epilogue that we wouldn't cast a spell magic on them, to double check that they're happy. So I imagine they had a really messy divorce.
Oh dang. I mean, yeah, probably. You know. Yeah.
I don't know. All those enemies to lovers trope adherents probably are like, oh yeah, that's the best.
Let me see. Okay. All right, I got a question for you. Just overall, what was one of your favorite things that happened, or coolest things that happened, or most emotional things that happened? Just when you think about the campaign, when you look back at the campaign, what's the thing that kind of springs to mind that you remember now, and you think maybe you'll remember it, for a while, maybe not forever, but something that was that really stuck with you.
I can start with that. 'cause
Okay.
For me, the number of times that we were in the middle of a fight and I was sure it was over. and we fucking pulled out. Like the number of times where I was like, well,
Chimera Queen.
Chimera Queen, that like, yeah, you name
Cerberus.
it. I felt like every
Midas.
time we were in it, yeah, just, and it was always like, it got to the point where every time a fight started, I was like, all right, well, here we fucking go again. I'm gonna, yeah, well, let me blow all my spells now and see if we can actually end this thing early, type of thing. Because yeah, that has stuck with me since the early fights.
Yeah, I'd say the campaign definitely had some rough fights for sure. Some of them were, I mean, most of them I think were stupidly unbalanced, like completely, like there's no CR system. There's just, I don't know. It was a gated sandbox, so, and there was a lot of optional side content. And so whenever there's those two things at play, there's definitely the temptation to sort of put things there that you could do, but that you probably shouldn't do, and then see if the players are going to be like, we'll come back later. But very rarely did you guys ever say, we'll come back later. It was like, we're in it now, boys. And yeah.
Yeah, there was an awful lot of, I don't know how we're going to make it through this one.
Yep, exactly. It's just like ending the session sweating.
Yeah, we had a couple of games where we planned. We spent like a week planning. Like, okay, this is what our first round of combat needs to be for us to have any chance. I know we did that for the Chimera Queen for sure.
Yep.
We had everyone's moves planned out for like a round or two, and it's like if we make it to round 3, it's like we're probably in pretty good shape. We didn't.
Yeah, frequently my prep streams would be, okay, so they're probably gonna die today.
Yeah.
So let's head to our notes. These are our contingency adventures for when they TPK. Yeah. But sometimes I kind of wish you TPK because man, it just kept going. It just kept going.
Oh yeah.
It just keeps going.
4 session fights.
Like, please, you probably shouldn't be fighting this thing. Just leave. Oh my god. All right. Anyone else have something that like sticks with them, or like that's like when they think about the game, they think about this?
For me, it was the end of our road to hell.
Oh
yeah, that was really rough.
I wanted to bring that up because
yeah,
there's like 2 different things for both games. Like we had our road to hell and they had their time travel stuff. I think there were like 2 different paths to the end before like it started wrapping things up.
Yeah.
How different it was.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Then the ending being very similar, actually.
It was interesting to see you guys come to the same sort of finish line, because you both groups know that I did prep like 4 different final boss fights based on like what you decided to do at the end of the game or whatever. And I even had stats for all the kaijus if you fell for those distractions and went and fought those instead of dealing with what actually needed to be dealt with. But yeah, you guys in that walking the path of the vault breaker, right, so that you could get the get into Hades' vault and get the stuff you needed to become true gods, so that the divine sparks weren't like burning you guys out from the inside and like driving you guys crazy, and just how grueling it was, and then that decision that got made at the end.
Yeah, I think.
Oh man, that was rough. That was rough.
You could feel how upset Phil was at that.
They walked through like multiple hells to reach Hades' realm, and they were going to steal from Hades the ambrosia of the gods to become capital G gods, so that they wouldn't get all fucked up and controlled by their sparks. Like they wanted to have their own identity, because Hypatia was becoming like more and more like Valis, right? Like a cold fish that just everything was like, locked down and, like intellect based and just nothing, no emotions. And then Phil was just always like ready for battle, ready to fight, solve it with strength. Like, couldn't see past like any of that. Like, my father, like, is being crucified on a tree for this. Like, I can't let him down. I can't let this power down. Like, this power is my responsibility. If it drives me to do something, I need to do it. And so they were like losing it. And like the rest of the party was just like watching these two best friends like die from addiction, essentially. It was rough. And so when they found out that like they could solve this problem, they were like, we'll do anything. And anything was like walking through literal hell, like to
Multiple
get there.
hells.
Yeah, multiple hells to get there. It was rough. It was really rough.
End up playing Hades.
Apadia made a deal with a death from another multiverse.
Yeah. Phil gave up his dog. He gave his dog to Kronos, like to get.
To Hades.
To Hades, that's right. He gave his dog. To Hades.
They gave their dog to Hades. Was it?
I thought he gave it to Kronos, and then
Yeah,
Hades.
I'm pretty sure I gave it to
Hades
Kronos.
took it from Kronos because Hades is his jailer, and he's like, "No pets
Yeah.
allowed, you little shit."
Ah, okay, good.
Yeah.
Like, we literally go through all this, and we get to like the very like we're literally about to fight the Guardians of the Vault.
Yeah, the daughters of Cerberus, the capital C Cerberus, the daughters of Cerberus. Yeah.
And
And
everyone
then
just wanted to
Hades
leave.
offers them a deal. He's like, I don't mind you robbing my vault if you want, but if you want to just sit down and talk, we could maybe figure something out. And the rest of the group was like, after 5 hells, I'm tired, boss. And Phil's like, we can't stop now. And then right as they're about to like fight this boss, they cast spells on Phil. And then I think Anastasia commanded him to step off the path, and then they failed the mission to get into the vault, and that was that. It was
Yeah, completely ruined our relationship for the rest of the campaign. I feel like.
Oh yeah,
but
it was rough. It was really rough. Like that
was a rough time.
that post game stuff was stress. Like, it was real stress. It was like watching your favorite heroes be forced to keep being heroes even though they had won the day. You know what I mean? Like the post game. It was like, why are we doing this to them? You know what I mean?
No, yeah,
Like,
It was like in the pre-game or the game, we were like all aligned, so like there weren't really much problems outside of the volcano incident and the kids incident. But the post game, we all had like different goals.
Yeah.
So it was just
and then the Remekis crisis, like the
Oh,
line we had to go
God.
fix.
Yeah.
our timeline shenanigans, our time.
Yours wasn't too bad. You changed like a couple of things because you went and you did the thing you were supposed to do and then you left. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man. That was really cool though, that the Myrmidon Queen and Katya got fused together when the black hole hit, because they were both trying to escape and they both got destroyed / escaped at the same time, became something completely different, and oh man, it was wild.
The one time I turned into a Myrmidon Queen.
That was sick as hell, actually. Yeah, that was sick as hell. All right. Anybody else have a most memorable or a thing that's gonna stick with them?
Yeah, I actually want to change mine
Okay.
to the skill challenge going up until the Myrmidon's Queen. I think about that all the time.
That was such a fucking good use of a skill challenge. That level 20 plus epic skill challenge to simulate a dungeon without us having to actually grind through yet another high level dungeon. I thought that was very, very cool. Yeah, so it basically got you right up to the boss without having to,
Yeah, and all of the drones had like our powers. Like there was a healing drone for me, and then there was like a big tank drone for Phil.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah. Anybody else have?
Me.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of shenanigans as a D&D player.
Yeah.
So a lot of the things I think about are the just random stuff. Like, I mean, I know we talked about Balloon earlier, but like Cairo carts and like just all the times where amongst like all the drama and serious stuff, there's also a lot of fun that we had. Just random stuff that's just like it has no reason to be here. Like we could have had the campaign without this stuff, but it just made it all
Phil
much more lively.
slapping that. What was it? The guys that get angry infinitely. What are they called?
Oh, the Blemish.
The Blemish. Yeah, I don't know if it was he slapped a Blemish with his whale tail and stunned him for a round, or it was the statue of Sidon. But it was
Oh man.
Great.
I guess for me, anything to do with Hexia, like that was that whole how we handled that whole.
Oh, that was really good because there was like so much character growth for Phil since that was his epic path, right? Was dealing with Hexia, and then the discovery of how Hexia got done dirty by her.
The Pythor with the Wolverine picture, the Pythor with the picture.
Oh man.
And then making your grandma Hexia with all the dragons.
Oh yeah, you guys started sending all your dragon babies over there when things started to get rough because you're like, nobody's gonna mess with Hexia. Oh man. And then finding out that your mom was still alive, that Hexia's ultimate revenge wasn't to to kill all of his wives and husbands, but to cock block them and give them a perfect life without him. Yeah. I thought that was a really fun reveal. That the reputation was that she ate all of his wives and children, but she really just took them off to her island paradise. Yeah.
Had her form her own island nation that been like the most profitable one out there.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. That was good stuff. I loved the sort of reveal of Hexia that she got left out. You know what I mean? Like, and just kind of cast out and left behind. And I don't know. I like when there's villains that are just straight up evil. But I do like it when there are villains that are admittedly they're just evil, sure. Like on their voters registration it says evil, but they have motivations for doing
There's a reason they're evil.
Yeah. Like there's they're doing these things, and the reason that they are a villain and not just evil is because they got put in that situation to do it. So yeah.
Yeah, there's so much for that in this campaign.
Yeah, definitely. Evil did not mean unreasonable in our campaign. That seemed to be a reoccurring theme.
Oh
yeah. On that note, the same probably most memorable for Orin would be the slow heel turn that took place over many in-game and out-of-game months of Orin going from just outright vengeance towards Lutheria and anger toward becoming one of their biggest supporters. Which was prompted by learning more about the burdens Luthir was under, hating her still for what she had done so far to Orin and everyone, but also starting to come to understand why and what prompted everything and what she was also dealing with, and then getting to a position where it was less of a mission for revenge and more of a mission for salvation for Thylea and for Lutheria. So I like that. I see the first turning point with that would be Exile Island whenever when he left to go with her.
I liked that at no point were any of you like, oh, but Lutheria is not a bad guy. Like you all to the end to this day, like just because bad shit happens to you, it doesn't excuse you being a monstrously evil person. Like she's still evil, you know what I mean, with a capital E, but it was fascinating to me that she did manage to survive both campaigns. She is.
I think I only ever got to not want to kill her.
She is raw, written as the post-game BBEG. So no matter what you do in the pre-game, if you kill her or if you don't kill her, she inexplicably survives, probably because she's the god of death. And then she shows up to be the post-game BBEG. But I don't know. I felt like she needed more motivation than just destroying the whole world. Like they kind of hinted at it in the adventure about why she would destroy the world.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, but then to kind of like dig deeper into the lore and the game and kind of find that motivation for why she would want to destroy the all of creation and shut everything down. When I hit upon it and it made sense to me, I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. But then I also love the idea that she wanted someone to stop her. You know what I mean? Because she didn't want to kill her mom. She didn't want to end in the world because she was still at the time the god of life and birth and everything else like that. So she was conflicted about that, and that's why in both games she visited Maya and she visited Hypatia and was just like, promise me you'll try to stop me, kind of thing. Like don't let it be easy, kind of thing. Because there was that conflict there where she knew she couldn't stop herself, but at the same time, she wasn't 100% down to do it if she could be stopped. So I thought it was really nice. It was really nice. All right. Anyone else have anything that sticks with them?
I will say, our whole Exile Island arc of just like we just came in on session thinking that okay, we're gonna do Exile Island next session. We come in and we're like, okay, you tell us, okay, just run with whatever's going on, and then you're like, okay. And we did it, and it was really cool just to like the mystery of like, okay, what the heck is going on here?
Yeah.
Oh, and how the first session of Exile Island was like Crash was messaging me and like you're gonna watch mostly this session, and at the end it's like, and here's this flayed, unraveled person hidden underneath the well. Like, holy shit.
Yeah. That was yeah. I was so impressed when I saw that somebody was like, listen, there's no way to run a murder mystery in 5e that anybody's going to give two shits about, because that's the raw thing. Is you show up on Exile Island and they're like, help us solve a murder mystery, and the raw adventure's like, it straight up says it doesn't matter how they do it. Whoever they think was the culprit is the culprit. And I was like, this is the laziest writing I've ever seen. But like for a 5e mystery, why not? You know what I'm saying? Because like obviously they're gonna solve it in like 3 seconds. So when somebody in the Discord community was just like, yeah, I thought about using the false Hydra on that island, because false Hydra, it's a Hydra and it's kind of neat. And I like looked it up and I was like, this is gonna be fucking insane. But but Prime, what I was doing with them is I was like, when they go to sleep, they're gonna wake up as different people and not remember themselves. It's perfect. And you guys are like, yeah, we're getting back on the boat. I was like, shit. Yeah, I was like, shit. And so when Mythic was like, we're heading to Exile Island, I was like, we're gonna pretend that they landed and they decided to sleep, and we're gonna just start with them already brainwashed. So we ended the session with them sailing there, and then we started the session with them living entirely new lives. Yep. On Exile Island, as different people, different names. They had different connections to each other, and they just had to kind of go with that. And then there was sort of like Groundhog Day thing where they would do the same thing every single day, but sometimes things would be weird. And so like they would start to kind of unravel that something was wrong, but they didn't know what was wrong. And then of course by the end, it was mayhem. It was just absolute bedlam by the end of that arc. So yeah, that was really fun. It was really fun. Very spooky. It was very spooky.
Oh, yeah, that was the one where I did the wall of fire and everyone was trying to count in. Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
Because I was like, zombies.
Yeah, it was crazy. That was a good one. That was good. That was the thing I thought was neat, is like, even though it was the same campaign, because of the nature of the campaign and the size of the campaign, both groups ended up doing such different things. And there were things that one group did that the other group just never got a chance to do, or there were things that the other group just didn't want to do or engage with that the other group did. And so it was really neat to not have it just be a carbon copy of each other with slightly different decisions. So I was very appreciative of that. All right, we are getting to the time that we had discussed, but a good question did pop up in chat, which was it wasn't so much a question, it was kind of an evolution question. with your epic destiny that could have branched in two directions, do you ever look back and wish you had taken the other one? Because each of you had a epic feat that came up where you could like choose to be like one or the other. Like, do you ever look back and wish you had chosen the other one? Or think,
but
No,
only
red,
because
red.
the other one would have been more useful as a barbarian
Uh-huh.
than the one that I picked did.
Okay, fair.
But
fair.
otherwise, like while it was a paladin, it was more relevant. Like it was really interesting, but then it was hard to lean as much into the everyone can forget about me thing when not mechanically, when in character he'd been trying so hard to resist that part, and so I was like, but they were both kind of flavored that way, so that wasn't really I should the other one thing. That was this is a character decision thing.
I would have wondered how I necessarily wanted to choose it, but I was always curious as to.
Oh, you went with the
with
the shapeshifter instead of the psychic, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So my whole character development probably would have been a lot different.
Right, because that was you either embracing the monster that you were made to be, or resisting the monster you were made to be, and focusing more on the human, the man, the mind kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of focusing more on the Titan part rather than the.
Yes. Similarly, I kind of wonder what it would have been like if I would have taken the Dragon STDs to level 10 and
I
not.
know the best part about that was you had like these two flavors or whatever, and one was like, be a fucking dragon, and you guys hadn't figured out the Go Dragon thing, so it feels like, did I catch an STD from Ventus? Like, does this mean am I going to turn into a were dragon or something because I had sex with this dragon too much? That was fantastic. And
It's so weird.
And I couldn't tell you why. I couldn't be like, well, the real reason that you could, take this path of the dragon is because your daddy's a dragon. But yeah, oh man,
I didn't know that was your other path. That's so awesome.
No, yeah, it was like dragon abilities, and I was like, all I'm doing is banging a dragon. Like, what is going on right now?
Anybody else like look at the other path and be like, maybe?
I don't think I ever shared this with any of the other guys, but when I was originally working on my secondary character concept, I had proposed doing a Dragonborn. You're like, fuck, no, you can't do that.
Yeah. Because you were gonna be a Dragonborn of Hexia, right? You were gonna be like Hexia, and I was like, bro, that's gonna cause so much tension. It's gonna be so weird. It's gonna like reveal a lot. And I was like, I can't do that. Yeah.
For my two. For my two feats, it was the one that had to lean between, because I guess starting off, I did a lot of summoning. I did use all the new summoning. I summoned the Fade, and I went to summon elementals, and then I went to the summon the Draconic Spirit. And so it was either more summoning and then getting like an extra concentration slot just for summons, or leaning towards the Queen of Themis thing. And it got to the point where we were doing a lot of talking to get it out of stuff. And I was like, I mean, we can't have everything on Julian for that. So I don't think I would probably, like, at least like in hindsight, I probably would not have picked the other one, considering we did so much talking and getting out of stuff, without fights moving forward once we got to that level.
All right.
Yeah, ironically, looking back, I think for Oren, the two paths where one was embracing the more human side and define until the end kind of human aspects, like I think it was bonuses to like sack and human resistance and rerolls and stuff. And the other one was the embracing the Nyx and Litheria's influence. And ironically, I think looking back, the human path, that would have put him much more at odds with Litheria, much more on the side of not even so much redemption, but is not even like her just meeting her end pretty soon after the party arrived in the underworld. So I think him going, he took the route originally towards embracing the Nyx to get more power, to kill Lutheria, but it ended up embracing that, and it ended up kind of leading him down the road that eventually led to the, I guess, working towards helping Lutheria.
I thought that was really neat about the Epic Feast. Is I definitely wanted them to kind of present themselves in a way where it would show a certain commitment to your character and the character's growth in that direction, or a direction. So it was, But yeah, I do think that the choices that you made, like Hypati, you're the choice that you didn't choose was fully embracing Medusa, getting like all the Medusa abilities, like actually turning motherfuckers to stone and snake tail and all that.
And I like on the one hand, like I thought about that, it was very tempting, but also like with all the breaker of the wheel stuff, and when I like all those reveals came, it was like, oh, that is who Hypatia is that I didn't even realize.
Right?
Like you kind of knew more about my character than I did at that point. And
Absolutely,
I was like, oh yeah.
That scene between you and yourself, when how surreal it was and how we got there, and then like what was happening. I just
yeah. Like obviously that is what I do. Like I heard myself talking about how terrible it was that I had done this so many times, and I'm like, oh, I can do it again if I get it wrong. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my old self is like, no, don't do it.
But we're not gonna get it wrong because we're for us.
Yeah.
Right.
And we didn't.
Yeah.
We got it right this time. Good.
Awesome. And
minor chrono tweaking required.
Anna, you were happy with your choice? You didn't ever look down the other path and be like, eh?
I don't know. I felt like they were both, because I was trying to be like the healer for our group, and then one of those was really cool, like thematically for what I was already kind of going for.
Oh, it was so cool. I tried so hard to convince you to take it.
yeah. And then just like going like full Phoenix, I think that was pretty cool, kind of leaning into that, and then later adding in like the Draconic elements, like I even went and got the full commission, because I knew from the beginning I wanted to take shape chains. Like, when am I ever going to get to play another campaign that goes all the way?
Yeah.
Like, when am I ever going to get access to this again? So 100%. And then like summoning the elementals all the time, that was really fun. I think the other path would have led me more towards what almost happened, where I would become the god of death, like because of certain circumstances. But then breaking the scythe,
All right. Well, it is 11. Do you guys want to hang out for a little bit more? Do you want to call it here? I mean, it's okay if you do. I mean, I have a couple other questions I did want to ask, but I don't have to ask them. If everybody need to go to bed, I mean, it's up to you. Yeah.
I don't mind hanging out.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, very good for more questions.
All right. I want to know, now that it's all over, looking back, is there like a particular NPC that just, is going to stick with you? Like the NPC that sort of you looked forward to showing up for the game because of that NPC, or you were willing to do whatever it took for that NPC, or they just, they brought you up when you were down, or you just felt like you had to defeat them, but like an NPC that you just felt like really connected to the game, like was just overall.
Kyra.
Easy. Bulbug.
Yeah, Kyra and
Pythor and Bulbug.
Bulbug.
Bulbug, Pythor, nice. Kyra, nice.
Obviously Kyra, yeah. Everyone who's played with me knows I'm a very emotional person, and I may or may not have cried a few times.
Listen,
especially during the reveal. When I had to convince her that she wasn't a monster, that was definitely that's gonna stick with me forever, I think.
Man.
The tension of any, like, there's Sidon or Lutheria, anytime they show up, just the tension.
Yeah.
In the airs, they both show up, and it's like, we don't really know what they can do. We don't think they can just outright snap us out of existence, but just like walking on eggshells.
It's the first time I actually got to have outright disdain for a character with Lutheria. Like
that track, that unused Fane track from Divinity Original Sin 2 that I would put on, like, like that. Oh man, like that Lutheria track, it would immediately just change the whole vibe of the session. Whenever her music would come on, I could feel the color draining from everybody when that music would come on, and it was like, not this bitch again. Like, what is this gonna happen this time? And there were so many times where, like, I had her sheet open, I had the initiative dice ready, I'm like, is this it? Are they gonna fight death? And then it was always like, just about. And then you guys would be like, de-escalate. And I would be like...
We got so close so many times.
I check my character sheet, be like, level 8. I'm like, damn, next time. Motherfucker.
There were a few times I'd look to Phil for his cue to start wailing in on her.
With you guys,
many times I almost saved the queue.
With you guys, even at the very end, when you were fighting alongside each other, I was just waiting. I was like, all right, and now they're going to be like, bitch, it's over now. And then it was like, no. Still going. I was just like, all right, man.
Oh shit! It's Sibo declaring her as an ally.
With the Oath of Fellowship. Oh my god. Yeah.
I think she forced us into an Oath of Fellowship in our game, didn't she?
I don't know if I forced you.
No, we didn't do any.
Yeah.
No, we did. We made a pact with her, but then we got Alexi
right, no,
final act to undo
you did
it.
Go into a pact.
That was the only oath we made, I think.
Yeah, and then when you found out Alexi could break chains, you're like, bro, please.
We did, yeah. That was the last thing he did. He did it. I think. I don't know.
He died afterwards. Yeah.
Anna and Alexi were pretty close. I definitely had
Yeah.
thought that we would get very close as characters over the course of the campaign, but he had to drop out.
I was still like, yeah, he died. That was the last oath he broke. Was your oath with Lutheria. Yeah.
She really, really wanted a dragon.
Yeah, and you guys promised that you would get her. I think she wanted Nephili, right? Like you were gonna get her like Nephili out of Praxis or some shit. Yeah, or something like that. Now, if she
that was in the Underworld.
Yeah.
That was when I almost because I remember I think I made like a deal or something with her, and then I was trying to change not change her, but like I forget what I was trying to do.
Well, you were definitely trying to like kind of show her like, hey, there's other ways to do this than being a fucking psychopath. You know, like, yeah.
Less fun though.
And almost had enough. Yeah.
I had a question just real quick about what like the raw adventure expects. So we had a really cool moment with the Song of Storms and singing the storm away. That was a very powerful moment for a lot of characters. What is the actual solution to getting the storm to go away in the book, or if that's even part of it?
Okay, so that is a raw thing from the book, and basically you the adventure, like video game style, you have to assemble Kyra's bow into or you have to do the four winds.
Get her weapons. Yeah,
and then that makes an instrument, and the instrument can cast control weather, and then that makes the weather go away.
Nice. That's cool.
That's how they want you to do it raw. But if you just say like we can't do it, then for some reason the gods don't just cast their own control weather. They go and they do the singing, and they wear themselves out, and they do actually get I think it's an exhaustion for the rest of the campaign or something.
Nice.
Yeah.
It'd also been cool if you made a bow and shot the storm. That'd have been neat too.
That would have been pretty sick. But the way it was handled by the community was like a number of different ways. Some people did like a tower defense where you had to protect Kyra and Valis as they sang the storm away.
What did Mythic end up doing to solve it?
I think you guys did a tower defense, right? You did you did the tower defense. Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely a strong ass scene, and it's definitely a good way of showing that the gods were very limited in their power, and how outclassed they were by the Titans. I thought it was a good way of kind of showing that there was not an even distribution of power between the twins and the five gods. So it was good.
I like the Four Winds too.
So, fun thing about that, much like another adventure never tells you where the third rock is, this adventure never tells you where the fourth wind is.
Oh, the pirate or whatever.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I like our solution. Yeah, when we
Yeah.
found her at the sea, we had Pythor throw our anchor at her ship and then pull her.
Yeah, that was dope
That
as
was-
hell.
that was
Yeah,
fun.
it was dope. Yeah, so everyone was sort of left to figure out what the fourth wind was going to get up to and all that jazz. But I thought it was a good way to kind of build Kyra's character up a bit, showing that she has commitment issues and she's flighty, and then you're kind of like, is it because she's a space case? Like, why is it? And then later on, you learn it's because she did all that horrible shit while she was with Esther, and she hates herself, and doesn't think anybody should have to be with her, essentially. So she leaves behind this league of evil exes that you guys have to deal with, but never really explains why, and then you have to sort of make that connection, later on when that information comes to light. So
I felt so bad for the fire one.
yeah,
Talus should just punch the hell out.
She had
kept taking the punches, and
that was a pretty sick fight. What a broken stat block. That was taken right out of Tomb of Beast. I was like, this bitch has fireball punches? Okay. Like, that's fine. Man, yeah.
Yeah, I feel sorry for her too. She just got eaten by a salamander in our in our timeline.
Yeah, the autumn one just went missing.
Yeah, the autumn one definitely
inexplicably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After we held court, it had a whole therapy session, right next to a massive orgy. It was kind of surreal.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of the campaign, I think, though. It's a lot of the campaign.
Therapy session next to a massive orgy.
Yeah, surreal therapy sessions next to orgies, yeah.
It's like college.
Yeah, the Greek experience. It's the Greek experience. Whew. All right. Another question I had was, have you guys heard about the Mythic rules they came out with for Pathfinder 2e? I feel my only big regret of Odyssey of the Dragonlords is that these rules didn't exist when I was getting ready to run it, because they are absolutely perfect in every way to mechanically explain and guide characters through becoming gods through the course of gameplay. It's all completely well thought out. There's a system for dying that makes sure that you don't die very easily, and you keep fighting all the time, like you're supposed to do in this campaign. I don't know if this campaign in any way influenced the writers over at Paizo, but it does kind of read like the perfect rule set for this campaign. So yeah, if anybody ever asks me,
I was gonna say there's time. There's always time. We could check these rules out.
I'm hearing a 10-man Pathfinder campaign.
Well, I mean, I do feel that of the two games, Mythic definitely left the most unresolved problems, which is to say, higher likelihood of spawning a follow-up campaign.
I'm just saying.
When you tell a bunch of gods, okay, you promise to give up your power in 500 years, and they're all like, we promise. I feel like you're basically setting up another campaign. Prime,
Gotta leave it open.
You really kind of hammered all the loose planks down at the end. You're just you guys were tying everything up with a bow. You're like, boop, we're good. The world's gonna be fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the idea, but there's also a part of me that's like, man, I had some other kind of Greek character concepts that maybe wanted to check out.
Yeah, right. I mean, I do like that Greek vibe.
When am I ever gonna play another Greek campaign again? I'm never gonna play those guys. Oh well.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's definitely. If someone asked me what my biggest regret about Mythic Odyssey would be, it would be that those Pathfinder Mythic rules did not exist when we needed them to, and I'll never forgive them. Because man, it would have cleaned up a lot of there were a lot of messy bits in this adventure that just got messier, as is the 5e way. The higher and higher you got in level, that I think would have been pretty buttoned down. There is the fear, obviously, that this campaign was the way it was because we played it in 5e, you know what I mean? Which really encourages the players to trust the DM and the DM to make a lot of fucking crazy decisions on the fly. And I feel like there's a certain excitement and wildness to that makes a 5e game on the average a bit more spicy and exciting than a Pathfinder 2 game. So I do feel like there was definitely a double-edged sword. 5e definitely falls apart after level 9. So running it for 11 plus more levels is I don't ever want to do it again. It's never gonna happen. But I could see running an epic campaign 1 to 20 in Pathfinder because it's a bit more subdued compared to how 5e can kind of get. But I don't know. I mean, those Mythic rules, they calling me. Maybe. Anyways, what do you guys think? Do you think that 5e was the right system for this game, having played other games? Do you feel like it worked for what we needed? Did you feel the game breaking down despite our efforts?
Going off the fucking rails.
Yeah, like
some of those
Yeah.
boss fights, man.
I feel like we were all kind of careful. I mean, and maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like we all tried to be careful to not break the game too much.
Oh, for sure. Two guys just
Yeah, I
confessed to
definitely didn't-
deleting hypnotic pattern off their character sheet after one session. So yeah, I definitely feel that. You guys were very responsible. You were very responsible.
Having played
And I-
Pathfinder and 5e, I
Yeah.
can definitely say this was. We only had as epic of a story as we did because we were doing 5e, so it's a lot of theater of the mind
a
and
lot of rule of cool, right?
because it was all about rule of cool. I feel like with Prime, like that was like
Fighting
so many
8
things.
bitches.
Yeah.
So much of our stuff was Phil did some fantastic, amazing things. All of us did. I mean,
Yeah.
pulled off crazy shit that would never have Pathfinder rules.
Well, especially
Well,
when
it
you
was
guys
so-
when you
can roll
guys
a
started
fool
to
on
when you
Pathfinder.
started
Like,
to
it's
think.
not like
Oh yeah, it's not against the rules. And let me tell you, like my Outlaws games, the last few weeks or months of my Outlaws games, they've been some of the craziest fucking things I've ever seen. Like the finale of Sunset, it was like a three-parter. It was like one thing that went across like 3 sessions or whatever, and it was incredible. Like it was one of the wildest things I've ever seen and DM'd. And I think part of what made it so wild is it managed to be that wild with minimal rule of cooling. Like we definitely leaned into rule of cool when we could, but it was also like impressive to just kind of see that feeling, see and feel like that excitement, that sort of 5e hijinks excitement that does come from everyone sort of like wanting to tell that kind of story, like leaning into the kind of chaos and coolness aspects. But yeah. Anybody else, like do you have a stance on it? Do you feel like 5e was the right fit for the game, the right?
I think just with the players, for at least for what I've watched of Prime and what I've been playing in Mythic, and just the style of GM, I think either system would create a really great campaign with this with either system, because a lot of what this campaign is not necessarily the mechanics. It was just the characters and the situations that we were in that made it crazy, rather than the actual mechanics. So I think any system could have made, like, this campaign has so much meat with the story, and then we all put a lot of effort into our characters and building them out, and live pretty much living them for the years that we played. That I think either system, it wouldn't have made a difference. Like the system, like everything else made this campaign what it is.
Well said. All right. Those are the main questions that I had. And I mean, I've told you guys individually, and I'll tell you, one last time. Like, growing up, I've been into D&D since I was 13, but I was also a military kid, so I just didn't get a chance to run a lot of games to completion or to play in a lot of games to completion. And now being able to run just back to back, like epic ass campaigns, short campaigns, silly campaigns, stressful campaigns, being able to run those from start to finish is such an absolute joy for me. And then these two games, I mean, the book for this game is like 500 something pages long, and it doesn't even cover everything it needs to cover. They just stopped making maps at some point because they're just like, I don't know, they're in a jungle ? And like the work that I just poured into this, I wouldn't have done that if I wasn't getting that energy from you guys that it was worth doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't have been making custom maps from scratch for areas that didn't get covered in the adventure instead of just finding a sub, whatever. I wouldn't be like story mapping all of the NPCs to figure out like what their actual motivations are and how they connect to the world. I just wouldn't have given it the everything that I gave it if I didn't feel that it was worth it. You know what I'm saying? And you guys made all that effort feel worthwhile. Like when you guys would go somewhere and you would laugh or cry or get really angry or get really excited, be surprised by the next twist, like that, like just motivated me to want to make it better and better and better and better and better. And I mean, looking back, I mean, this is like a huge and incredible story. And then, to tell it twice with two fantastic groups, it was just a real joy. So thank you guys.
Thanks for running.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for the
Amazing.
game. Yeah.
Yeah, thank
The
you.
persistence
you.
is crazy.
It is definitely like a major accomplishment. Like to get all this done. How many episodes total? Like for both games?
Oh man,
Yeah,
Almost 300.
Crash has roughly 7 years of Mythic Odyssey in his veins. That's just the game sessions, not even the prep.
Not even the prep. Yeah, because normally my prep is for every. I tell people you never want to go over like 50%, right? So you don't want to. If you prep for 2 hours, you better get 4 hours of content out of that. It would be impossible for this one because like I made the entire Super Dungeon of Praxis, like, basically from scratch in Incarnate, like, every single floor, every single room, like, all the clutter on the tables, like everything. I don't even know how many hours that took. Like, that would have thrown all of my prep into, chaos anyways, but, like, researching, high-level stat blocks so that each of the Lost Gods isn't using the same god, like stat block that the adventure provided. I'm just like, cool. Like I don't know. It was
8 gods make them different.
Yeah, exactly. It was just consuming, Like I just wanted to tell the best story I could with you guys, and I also loved the fact that this story was organic. It was a TTRPG. Like this wasn't a book I was listening to. This wasn't a book I was writing. Like, this was a story that I, as the DM who knew everything, got to experience the story because I had no idea what you guys were going to do. I had no idea where you were going to go and what your motivations were going to be. And would they actually break this scythe? Like, that's crazy. They definitely wouldn't break this scythe.
That felt the most Greek thing I did the whole...
Breaking the scythe was insane. When I did it,
the pang of guilt in my stomach when you were showing me everything that was coming out. I was like, "What have I fucking done?"
I don't know if it was the same for you, but with Andronicus is like looking at us, and it's like he's looking at us like somebody stop him, and we're just like, I mean, none of us have a right to.
It's your epic path, dude. Go for it.
It's your family's in the staff. Who are we to tell you not to break the staff and get your family out? Like, It's gonna be a fucking mess.
Yeah, we said
Fuck
whatever it's gonna be, we'll just help you deal with it.
Yep. We'll
Yeah,
clean
and
it up.
at the end of that session, there was like the do you regret? Like does Andronicus regret breaking it? And it's both like, well, yes, obviously, because of these things.
100%.
Would he have done it different even if he knew it beforehand? Also, no.
Probably no. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I was hemming and hawing because I had the sides of my possession for like, I don't know, 2 or 3 sessions before we decided to go and do it. And I remember just going back and forth, and I have very hard with the decision paralysis. So it's like, but then I remember I looked at my character sheet. Character flaw will do anything to get her family back. And that's kind of what's like. Yeah, that was very good.
Oh, yeah. No, it was. Again, there were so many things like radicalizing Phil against the gods, and then sort of Hypatia kind of like moving into that same sort of mindset as like it took more and more hold. Like I had to talk to people. Like I was like, hey, we had people like messaging me and emailing me that watched the stream, and they were like, is Phil okay? Is Hypatia okay? Like what's wrong with them? You know what I mean? Like it was affecting people. It was affecting the other players.
The arcs were so good.
Yeah, and it was like it was just like, this is drama, you know what I'm saying? When people are like drawn in and they can't look away, you know what I mean? Like they need, I had people tell me, like, I need them to be okay. It's like, I can't do that for you. Like I have very little, if any, control over the ultimate like outcome of these characters, you know what I mean? So yeah, it was heart-wrenching. And I will say this, the any of the scenes with the 5 gods, the 5 gods and their relationship, and like the, you know, their resentment towards their mother / wife for putting them in the situation and leaving, and then, you know, just the emotional baggage that they all carried around because they could not deal with grief, you know, like the 5 gods is all about an inability to process like grief. Like if you think about it, like mom died, and then dad, brother, and 2 sisters, like they just fell apart. They fell apart in different ways, and those different ways also made it impossible for them to help each other grieve. And so it was just this like whole, like, every time they were there, you could feel that I would get choked up in any of the scenes with the 5 gods, where they're kind of like dealing with all of that baggage that they were just carrying around from their past lives, and their failure to be good gods, and their feelings about Balmitria's death, and then I definitely, with Lutheria, in those rare scenes of vulnerability for her, that would definitely get me choked up when I was trying to do the scenes, because I mean, I don't know.
And there is no script.
Yeah.
It's just
exactly.
Go.
Yeah.
Do.
Yep. We don't
Just
write.
gonna undercut all of Ori's script writing on the side there.
Listen, if
You work
you're
hard on these.
if you're a player and you write lines ahead of time because you know a big scene's coming up, and you know that's great. I think that's super cool. But I do feel like the majority of these games has just been what is said in the moment, like what is said in the moment and what is done in the moment, and that changes the whole story, and now we go in that direction.
Pangs of feeling bad afterwards as players for saying something to.
Yeah.
Is that the right call? Was it have done that?
It's good.
There were a few times you felt like you were struggling with. I mean, at least for me, like you were struggling with that. Like, was that the right call? Did I back the right person?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Whew, man. Anytime it got too stressful, I hope you guys just played some Solasta. It's a nice palate cleanser. You can just do whatever you want. Doesn't matter. The game's super linear. Yeah, trumpets play.
Yeah.
There were a couple times we were in a boss fight, like, man, I don't don't know if I feel like playing this one.
Oh, like this campaign? Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I could see that. I honestly thought we were gonna just stop at the Themis Hydra for Mythic. I was like, I guess this is it. I don't imagine they're gonna want to.
No way we give up on that.
Made that Hydra our fucking. That was our conquest.
Yeah, I mean, there were a couple of other arcs you could have done during those sessions, but you know, it's all cool. It was very
Listen, we fucking earned that goddamn sword.
Yeah, spank that Hydra.
You sure did. You sure did.
And then it got taken away from me because of fucking time shenanigans.
Oh yeah, the time shenanigans. Like we talked a little bit about our hell blocking. I don't know. We didn't really.
Oh yeah, so they actually did some time travel too, even though somebody said that they weren't gonna do that anymore. But then probably as soon as I was not listening anymore, they were like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna do it. What are you talking about? So Hypatia got Wish, and I explained like, Wish is fine. I write down everything you wish for. You accrue, essentially like. Wish interest.
Wish tax.
Yeah, wish tax. Yeah, and like the more anything beyond the spell description examples, you can have infinite money. I don't give a shit. But once you leave the written text, that is where every wish is kind of being weighed against the universe. Like, how much is this person trying to take from the universe? And then it will start.
Like that time I wished to win a sports game.
Right, and that's
The
like,
Oh yeah,
integrity.
Blitzball.
yeah, that's such a low priority thing that they're like, yeah, fine, that's fine.
Oh my god.
You can win a
The
sports game.
integrity of a Blitzball tournament, low priority.
I don't know if it was
Oh.
Blitzball. I just remembered. Yeah, we get to
No,
Blitzball.
I think
That
it was.
also
I think
fun.
it was Blitzball. Yeah, I think it was Blitzball. It was to.
Wow.
It
Well,
was
I never.
It was to flex on the god of magic. I'm pretty sure it was to flex on the god of magic. But yeah, like they were in a bad situation. I don't think it was a TPK, but it was looking pretty grim, and everything was going south like real fast. And then you found out. Oh yeah, and then you found out about the Myrmidon situation, and then you were fighting the Queen of the Myrmidons, and the fight was looking real rough, and you found out the Queen of the Myrmidons was also Katya, and then you guys were like, we have to fix this. And then Hypatia messaged me and was like, okay, well, or did you know? I don't even know if you messaged me. I think you said out loud like, well, I could just wish to go back in time. And
Yeah,
then-
we figured out the point in
Yeah.
time where we needed to go to fix.
Yeah,
And that's when Kabir and Nasir showed up.
Yeah, but then they did. I was like, you know what? Fucking do it. That's what being high level D&D is all about. Fucking do it. So they did use the wish spell to go back in time, but then of course the wish tax was you just illegally time traveled, and so they had to deal with Kabir and Nasir, and then they had to get special tattoos that they stole Phil's baby dragon and mashed his baby dragon
I'm
up.
so mad about that.
What
Yeah,
the fuck?
there was a lot of underhanded stuff that happened because Phil had a temper, like a Hercules temper. You know what I'm saying? They didn't want to.
Yeah, you had to lie to me too. I would not have gone through with that if I had known what had happened. No
Yeah,
way.
Yeah,
100%.
I lied. I kept that to myself. I was the only one who knew that
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was fucked up. But you know,
Wait, so why did the tattoo need to be a baby dragon?
It was a baby time
No, it-
dragon.
it's a time
the,
dragon.
the ink was made of baby dragon.
Yeah.
Not just the scales, you need the whole body?
Yeah, mashed up
Yeah.
the egg. Yeah.
Damn.
Well, Lotus had this
It was
big
still an
long.
egg.
Lotus had this big long quest for them to go on to get the reagents, but then they were like, well, but we got this, time egg, and she's like, well, no need for that.
Oh.
Just tears up the paper. Just give me that egg. Munch, 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 munch. Yeah. Yeah, they had to get tattoos to escape from the time cops, because they did not bamboozle them into deputizing them.
I mean, we did at least in the time convince them that the Myrmidons were bad enough that they needed to pause
Yeah, I
and
think it
arresting
sorted
us.
itself. I
and
think it
telling-
sorted itself out later too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
reconciled.
Yeah.
It could have been another way.
I did time.
Oh.
What was that? Community service.
Yes, I remember that. So, Reset mentioned, like, meme, like, kind of, like, just fun, weird, like, content. These guys went to Star Wars. When they went to the Island
That
of
was going to be
Time.
my next question.
That was amazing.
So, yeah, the Mythic group, their Time Island shenanigans is when they got to Nolan, he wanted them to go steal a trash robot from an old timeline, so it wouldn't impact anything major. And they're like, okay, we know what robots are. We know what a trash robot probably is. And it's like, yeah, it looks like a trash can on wheels. And it just sort of goes around as a trash can. It's kind of white and blue. Anyways, it's not important to anyone. I want it. Go steal it for me. So he sends them onto like the Death Star, and then it's like every Star Wars trope, and then, but like your guys' thing where you were on a meta timer, and if you didn't do your thing in time, everybody would lose stats and everything, and they'd have to start all over with all the memories from the previous one. That was happening to them, but on a Death Star.
Yeah, I think that was honestly like the most fun creative thing that like we did with like the episodes of any. If you guys Mythic Group and go watch any episode, like you definitely go watch our Island of Time episodes, because it was so cool what we did on the playlist, like the episode after it, how it keeps getting more and more fucked up.
Yeah, that was. I enjoyed the Time Island arcs a lot. I was happy that they included a Time Island in the adventure, so that's good.
Oh, to get an apology for Lotus.
She just really didn't do much with, but it felt good. It felt good to get that apology. Twice. Yeah.
Hey, Crash. That magic lamp that I just wound up with because of carousal and didn't use.
Yeah.
What were the 2 wishes that had been used up?
Oh, the 2 wishes that had been used up?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Like, I think the deal was like, you made 2 wishes, but you have no recollection of what they were.
All right. Well, I'll tell you. So the camera cuts back to that fateful night, and you're hanging out, and you've got the lamp or whatever, and you rub the lamp, and Genie comes out and explains the situation, and your first wish, because you were already so smashed, was I wish I had a sandwich. And so you got a sandwich, and then when you spilled some of the aioli on your toga, and so you wished for a damp cloth to wipe it up. So that's...
God, I must have really fucked up. Because I've been using prestidigitation this entire campaign.
I know. So it wasn't the most, it wasn't anything earth-shattering. It wasn't like, God.
Well, I'm just glad it didn't secretly fuck up part of the world.
Oh, no. I did roll though to see if it would. I was like,
I know you told me, and I was like, oh God, what have I done?
Yeah, I quickly made a roll table, and I got inconsequential. So. That's,
I wish I could forget how embarrassing this was.
Oh yeah. But you did
I was
have
thinking
one...
maybe it was, I wish I was sober. I wish I don't waste any of my wishes, and that's why we never remembered to use it.
Yeah, you had a wish in the chamber till the very end of the campaign. It was nice.
Yeah. And I used both my lucky points to get me a robot.
You could have just wished the curse away from the fucking staff.
Oh, yeah, that probably was...
Yeah, but maybe it would have been moved.
No, then the curse would have gone to someone else. Yeah.
Whereas you guys,
I would have had to word it very specifically, and we went over this together, and we were like, "No, leave the wish alone. We're gonna get Monkey's Pod."
I feel like maybe you wrote that on the side of the thing, but carefully so as not to rub it with the pen. Or maybe you just attached a little tag to remind yourself to do not use this. Man. All right. I think I need to go to bed. And thank you guys for making the time to all hang out, and for helping make our server a really cool community, and for entertaining the handful of folks who have watched your Odysseys and gone on these journeys with you, and the stories that you have told. The people that watched your stories and stuck around all the way to the end, I mean, that's an investment right there.
Amazing. True.
We did the math in chat, and if the average One Piece episode is 20 minutes long, combined, you guys made 3,675 One Piece episodes.
How many actual One Piece episodes are there?
I think
Like
they're up to
5,000?
1,400. I think at this point. So
Easy.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
guys,
it's,
you guys are like double One Piece. No big deal. No big deal. It's just the most
For now.
prolific game.
350 episodes combined, like if Maya counted it out there. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
With this session.
Yeah, with this
350
session,
episodes.
we'll be at 350 episodes combined.
Perfect. Exactly how we planned it.
This
Yeah.
is where you turn to the audience and you tell them you love them, and you cherish them and all that.
Oh, like the Mercer does.
Yeah,
like the Mercer
exactly.
does. Sure.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Thanks.
Don't
right.
forget to check out the shop. All new items.
Oh,
man.
true. Yeah,
Do we
we
have
got
items
the
in the
stuffed
shop?
Steve-O plushies.
Thanks, Sam.
Get your Cyrus body pillow.
I mean, we do have stickers on Redbubble, but that's fine. That's fine.
Is he pretty boy on one side? Beast
We,
on the
we've
other?
we've tainted all the Google search results for this campaign with our with their campaign.
Oh
Um,
yeah, with the Raid Shadow Legend. Do you know I was offered a Raid sponsorship every like 6 weeks for the
taken it.
durations campaign? I only recently stopped getting the offers to do Raid Shadow Legends, and I think they started up right after we did the fake Raid Shadow Legends ad.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably got a bot out there scanning, just waiting for the slightest mention.
Listen, I didn't understand why she liked Raid Shadow Legends so much, but now that I have my very special AFK Journeys game on my phone, I definitely understand. Definitely understand what it was all about now. So
So Crash when he had Lotus do the fake Raid Shadow Legends ad, he said what her code was to redeem something. So I downloaded the game, played through the tutorial, and then put the code in, and then sent him a screenshot of it not working, and said I wanted to file a complaint, and then I got like inspiration or something.
Take it up with HR.
It's good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Well, it's that Christmas time, so if you're looking for peeps to hang out on the server, there's like tons of people. So, if you're looking for people to play games with online or start your own short mini series, try out some new games, whatevs, tabletop simulator, all that. Don't be a stranger. Reach out. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go try to sleep again. We'll see how it goes this time. And
I wish you was 77.
Yeah, let's go up 1 point. Let's do it. 77% sleep. Let's go. All right. Good night, guys. And
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Next
care, everybody.
adventure, the next journey. Bye.
Yeah, that's great.